everybody. It's Friday here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. I made a huge mistake. This is really my own fault. Phil. By the way, Phil, you're the only one on the YouTube channel right now, just so you know.
Fantastic.
Phil's just like, it's all about me. Well, yeah. I mean, maybe they don't need to see me. Maybe I'm okay with that, actually. What was I going to say? Oh, Randy, it's my fault Randy's not here because I was talking to him earlier and I was like, oh, yeah, by the way, today is National Barbecue Day. And he hung up the phone immediately. And just ran off and started barbecuing. And I can't get him back on the phone. And so that's pretty much my own fault. Yeah, I shouldn't have said anything about it.
See, we know Randy is a very much the king of barbecue around here. But my question,
he's the grill master general.
That is certain. Yes. My question to you is, and I don't know if this day exists, but if there is such a thing as a National Smoker Day, which I don't think, if it did exist, would pertain to barbecue, but I'm sure right. Randy would coerce that and own it as such.
I think there might be. There's a day for everything. I don't know if you noticed like this.
Yeah, if there's a
day for everything.
If there's a day for National Pretzel Day, there's a day for everything.
I learned that from Craig Fooey. Craig Fooey would come in, and when he used to be on the station, and he would tell, there's a day for everything. We try to do the cool days. We try not to do the dumb days. But he would list off all the days. Not just the cool days like we do. Some days, I don't know if anyone notices, but I don't say anything because there's no day worth talking about. Like
it's like National Cucumber Day or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't need kitten day. Don't need cucumber day.
No.
So anyways, what were you saying?
Anyways, my point being is that I wonder which day, if Randy had to pick, which day would he prefer? Which day would he rather?
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
like, would he
barbecue
use 420
or Smoker Day? Yes,
420 to be Smoker Day in a different way.
Yes, absolutely.
Can I be honest with you? I don't think Randy gives two craps and a half about what day it is. I think what he really likes is just barbecuing every day, smoking every day.
Yeah.
When I say smoking, with his grill, the smoker,
yes.
Making sure everybody understands. But so no, yeah, I understand what you're saying. But he's not. He'll also just take, like me, any excuse and opportunity to not be on the air.
And God bless him for it. If you have that ability, by all means.
Problem is, I kept trying to call him back. It's not a paid day off.
Oh,
he's not going to get paid for this.
Well, if he's making barbecue, Jeffrey, the man is fully paid.
He's paid by eating his own meat. Okay,
yes,
that didn't sound right. No. He's paid by the bounty of which he is about to receive, but as far as financially, he'll take a hit. So Diamondback Dude says, hey, did you see how the Diamondbacks placed Erod on the IL with a fake injury? Shoulder issue. He's been having a rough time, so they needed some excuse to get him out of the rotation. All right, so Diamondback Dude, why would they need to fake it? Why would they need to do a little misdirection? They could just designate him for assignment. What's wrong with that? I mean, by the way, when they put him on injury, they're able to bring somebody up, right?
Correct. Yeah. So
is that why? So they don't embarrass him?
Well, I mean, I think more so than any other sports league, maybe. No, I'm trying to think. Pretty much more so than any other major sports league. MLB as a whole really plays around with this system and enjoys the ability of having 162 games a season more so than any other one, because you see it mostly in contract talks, especially with like rookie contracts and arbitration years and all that stuff, where the moment that they hit a certain amount of games within the certain amount of years and everything else, they're eligible for a higher pay bump than not. So to his point, I think it's possible that they've done this in order to come up with a phantom injury or exaggerating an injury in order to bring him down, in order to salvage maybe even his ego or something like that. Maybe, perhaps. That being said,
I think his ego is already a bit smacked if you're having the conversation with him at all. If you go to this guy and say, hey, you stink right now. Let's pretend like your shoulder hurts and, we'll give you a rest while somebody else comes up and does better than you.
Or at least we're hoping somebody does better. Yeah, but I think that to start out that conversation, if you're saying, hey, Phil, we're coming to you and, we heard you cough, during segment 3 of hour 2 yesterday. And that sounds like it was like the start of something. So let's give you a day off here. Let's go have you go on the Kittens and Cucumber podcast over there and sit you over there and recover for a
Yeah,
day.
but if you could do the Kittens and Cucumbers podcast over there, well, that means you could also do this. So your whole premise is falling apart quickly.
It's falling apart pretty quickly, but at least I have that rationale whenever I've talked to people and saying, but hey, you know what? I'm I'm a little sick, but I am talking Kittens and Cucumbers today. I can at least have that to rely on, as opposed to, yeah, we're gonna send you down to go work at Circle K or whatever.
I wish I could do that. I wish I could punish people by sending them down to work at Circle K.
Oh my gosh. See, nothing humbles a person more than working at Circle K, because nobody comes into Circle K in a good mood. You are either in a rush, you're late to work already, you're getting third rate coffee, you're getting top quality ice, but nobody goes there in a happy, jovial mood.
Except for the crazy people who come in, hey, how are you? And then they go and bathe in the Slurpee machine
and rob you. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there's always that. Yeah. Berg says, wrong, Phil. He had enough playing time dating back to 2020, if not farther back. It would make sense for like Jordan Lawler in service time.
Right. I'm not saying necessarily that that's the case here, but I'm saying MLB more so than any other sport will exaggerate injuries, will make up time to send you down, exaggerate reasons to send you down in order to get more playing time here and there. So I'm saying it's not necessarily that they had to exaggerate his injury, but it's within the realm of possibility more so than I would say like in the NFL, where they're trying to get you back for each and every game, regardless of the injury. Like they'll say, hey, just push it through, even though you've got a groin injury, and everybody be like, oh.
Donnie's on the text line. He says, it's National Pizza Party Day, you honky. Oh. I didn't see that anywhere, you mung. Which, by the way, that is an actual, I'm guessing Donnie is Hmong because there's a huge Hmong population that it lives in Minnesota. And he knows what I'm talking about. So he's not going to come back, you're racist. He's going to either say I am or I am not. I'm only guessing because when I was there, I had a lot of Hmong friends. And long story behind how that whole thing sorted out that you had such a big Hmong population in Minnesota. I know you'd be very surprised if you were to have to hear that boring history lesson, but
100% have no idea what you're referring to.
I don't know why Donnie thinks he's allowed to call me hunky.
Well, there we go.
I'm allowed to call Phil hunky. I'm allowed to call me hunky, and he's actually half hunky. You're like half hunky?
I'm a bit of a grab back, yeah.
I'm 100% hunky.
Oh, well,
my sister did like the DNA test thing, and I was hoping to find something cool in my DNA, like maybe somebody Native American, maybe somebody African American,
some Peruvian,
maybe anything with pigment I could use, you know what I'm saying? Because I have none. Yeah. And there's a reason I have none, because all the way back to the 1600s in England and Ireland, my people have been pale forever. I have no surprises in my DNA, which made me very sad.
Well, and also, isn't there a way that we can bridge the gap here? I mean, people like my girlfriend certainly would love to celebrate both days. She loves herself a good barbecue pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not one of those people, but I think it exists.
Donnie just made that up.
A pizza party day?
Yeah, he just made that up. By the way, he says, LOL, no, I'm not Hmong, which is spelled HMONG. Okay. All right. Well, Donnie, you got to admit that was a fair guess, knowing that you're from Minnesota. Fair guess for a hunky. Ringless Joe says, Donnie, I can't wait to see the Vikings lose against the Bears in their opener. Not that I like the Bears. I just dislike the Vikings slightly more. Ringless Joe, you're high. I don't think the Bears are going to beat the Vikings.
Man. Hey, they could. I mean, depends on what.
We don't even know what we got yet, to be honest. We don't really even know what we got yet.
JJ McCarthy, who was already an unproven, coming back from an injury, a season-ending injury.
That is very. And then the other guy who doesn't know how to watch tape.
Who's that?
Caleb Williams.
Who says he doesn't?
Oh, wait, no. Caleb Williams is the guy on the.
Yeah, he's got the fingernails, but he doesn't.
Caleb Williams is on the
Bears.
Oh, he is on the Bears.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to watch tape.
What do you mean he doesn't know how to watch tape?
He admitted nobody taught him how to watch tape.
When did he do this? I'll have to look it up.
Hold on. I got this. It was going to be in our NFL stuff, but he says he got no guidance on how to watch tape. They're like, here you go, Caleb. Well, go watch some tape. And he was like, okay. It came out in a book called American Kings, a biography of the quarterback. And Williams said that he'd sit there watching film by himself, no instruction, no guidance from coaches. He says, no one tells me what to watch, so I just turn it on.
That's funny.
Wow. No wonder they fired everybody.
Well, also, Jeffrey, doesn't this kind of act as like a referendum on Lincoln Riley, his college coach, who's supposed to be something of a quarterback whisperer?
Well, I mean, watching college tape, yeah, everybody probably watches it together as a conference. They're like, okay, and now look at this. But in the NFL, they're like, all right, grown-ass man, here, go watch the tape. They just expect you to already know how to do it, I guess. And you're saying based on what he learned in college, but I don't know. Maybe he didn't learn that there.
Well, it's hard because Lincoln Riley has certainly, like, he's supposed to be a quarterback whisperer, had his hands in.
Maybe Caleb couldn't hear him all the time because he's whispering. I mean, maybe if he spoke a little louder, Caleb probably pretended like he heard him, be like, okay, coach. Yeah. Okay, coach.
Yeah. Okay, he whispered back. Yes. Quarterback and quarterback coach whisper. Yeah. So I
want to yell at your coach.
No, of course. You want to be very respectful. No, I think that the Bears nothing surprises me whenever it comes to the quarterbacks, or excuse me, the Bears did not understand how to properly train, develop, and nurture a quarterback. Like, nothing surprises me. They are awful. There's a reason why he actively avoided, or at least sought out a way to avoid the Chicago Bears. I mean, there's no two ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Donnie says, you guys see the article where Caleb said he wanted to go to Minnesota instead of Chicago. That's how bad the Bears are. No, I mean, he did. That was a true story, but that was then. This is now. He's there. But yeah, there was a point, I think, where he had told his dad, go talk to the guys at the UFL, see if I could play there for a year.
Yes.
And then I can just come back as a free agent.
Yeah, he did.
Not the worst idea, but I don't know. Do you think that would have blackballed him a little bit with some of the NFL teams if he tried to pull a move like that?
I think it would have turned him off to some. He certainly was such a high prospect that it takes a very, very high prospect in order to get away with something like that. We've only seen it happen with Eli Manning, John Elway, even Bo Jackson happened to be able to do that. And he wasn't a quarterback, but he was a generational talent all around, obviously. And so it takes a very high talent. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders thought he was of that ilk and messed around and found out how that treated him. I don't know that it would have worked out for him, but I think the risk of, will I take the millions in hand now versus the probably less than $1 million that the UFL could offer him and possibly get injured and then ruin his chances to recoup that money, I think were enough to scare him away.
Yeah, that was probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
Donnie says, the Bears have sucked all my life. Enjoy the bottom of the division for another year. Yeah, I'm not sure the Vikings are going to be great, to be honest. So let's just see what happens.
I think that the Vikings are going to probably have an average year.
Yeah, but big question mark on even the average with JJ McCarthy.
Yes, so one wonders. There is a route where they can have a middling average record, but still have a positive outlook on how the following years will be, because they did develop finally, as the year ended, JJ McCarthy to be the franchise quarterback that they drafted him to be. That is possible that both things can happen at once.
888-368-1580. Big George is on the text line. Says, sorry I've missed the show the last couple of days. I've been sick. Tried to listen to the podcast, but they haven't been updated on Apple Podcasts since May 1st. What gives? No more podcasts? Oh, you know what? I think that's a nerd thing. I think some nerds, I'll have to let the nerds know.
I was going to say, I was like, everything's good on our end here, Jeffrey.
Yes, but, I know.
Okay.
No, I see. I am privy to upper level communications that come through CRC Broadcasting, and I've seen our most prominent nerd, Wesley, going back and forth with some Apple communiques. So whatever's going on with that, but I'll let Wesley know.
The powers that be.
He's the king nerd. You guys know him on Twitter as Producer X from ASU. Moist One says, who doesn't love smoking meat? I don't know anybody.
Amen.
Firefarter says, don't you send the rejects over to Money Radio? That's the minor leagues, the Fanatic, right? It might be the other way around for all you know, man.
Absolutely.
No, we ain't got no minor leagues. The people who work at Money Radio, they're solid. They're solid.
Minor leagues would be cleaning the bathroom.
I'm thinking. For some, it might be a step up.
Yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, kittens and cucumbers, that's a nasty podcast. Speedo Phil would listen to something like that.
Would listen. Heck, I'd be hosting.
He's going to host it.
Yeah,
I think we've already inked a deal for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
T-Licious says, happy Friday, Jeffrey. Yep. You as well. I guess, Phil. What? Cubs beat the White Sox ass. Listen, the other thing you're trying to talk about, we're going to get to that. Just calm down. I mean, I guess I can mention it now. I mean, these shows never go as planned. I may as well talk about Purdy getting paid.
Yeah, I mean, it did kind of just break. I mean, within the last hour, right?
Yeah. Well, let me get the piece of paper.
All right. Yeah.
Brock Purdy got paid 5-year contract, $265 million, $181 million in total guarantees, including $165 million in the first 3 years of the contract. So he is locked up as a 49er till 2030. His annual value is $53 million, which means at this moment, Justin Herbert is getting paid less by $500,000. It puts Purdy on tie with Jared Goff. They're both getting that, and he's just behind Tua Tagovailoa because Tua gets 53.1. So that's where Brock Purdy is, the upper echelon of paid quarterbacks. All this means is brace yourself for another wave of overpaid quarterbacks.
Oh, absolutely. I think that who's most happy about this are all the young quarterbacks.
Everybody else.
Yeah, who hasn't gotten paid yet. Because you start out with, you say, all right, Tua Tagovailoa and Brock Purdy are both getting paid $53 million. That's my floor. And even then, I need at least 0.1 million and more than them. So that is at the absolute least amount that I will accept. And you know what? Jordan Love, who's making $55 million, I'm kind of leaning towards him being my floor as well. That really reinforces that. So yeah, any young quarterback who has not been paid as of yet, you look at Jaden Daniels, he's not anywhere near a contract extension, but when he does, he's very happy about this news as how it pertains to him directly.
Well, the Doughboy from Perry High School is now making bank, and I guarantee you, like you say, all these other players who are coming in, okay, so they're going to use him as kind of a little bit of a guide, right? Because pretty good quarterback, not great quarterback, not a bad quarterback by any means. But here's the line, okay? If you want the Brock Purdy money, you got to achieve this. He had 23 wins, 13 losses in 36 starts. 67.5% completion percentage.
Consistently average.
He had 9,518 yards, 64 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. He had 6 postseason games where there wasn't quite as good, 62.6% on the completion percentage. And he had 1,343 yards, one pick, but he had 6 touchdowns. So those numbers there, you had better come with these numbers there if you want to get 53 plus.
Well, also
per year.
The other thing too,
guaranteed
that he had as leverage was that he wasn't a first round pick. We talked about this up and down the line.
He was the absolute last pick in a draft.
Mr. Irrelevant. And the way that played into his hand, specifically when negotiating this deal, was just as how we talked about heading into this year's draft. One thing that makes that drafting a quarterback in the first round so important is that, yes, obviously for the entirety of the rookie contract, you are going to be paying more on average for a rookie quarterback, more for Jackson Dart than Brock Purdy made his entire in 1 year. Then Brock Purdy made his entire contract for his Mr. Irrelevant contract. Obviously, that's true. But what is important is that if you draft a quarterback with the first round, you have that first round rookie option for a 5th-year option. That is so important in leverage for these contracts that the quarterbacks are able to do, because right now Brock Purdy was able to leverage saying, hey, if you don't sign me right now, yes, you can franchise tag me as many players you can, up to like 2 times before it becomes just fiscally irresponsible. But you don't have an extra year on me, where I have now 3 years I'm looking down the barrel before I can get truly paid and be secured. I only have 2. Yeah, and even then, I'm totally fine if you want to franchise tag me. I'm going to be making, 50, 60 million guaranteed off of 1 year. I'm totally fine with that.
Well, I don't know if he's totally fine. Everybody wants a long-term deal.
Sure.
But I've got to be honest with you. I think this is a 49er mistake. They should have franchise tagged him and seen how he did next. Didn't they also just draft a guy?
No, they did not just draft
I
a guy.
thought they picked up a quarterback.
They picked up a quarterback, I think maybe in the later rounds, but no, they did not. I mean, they picked up who did they sign in the offseason as a backup quarterback? I'd have to look it up. But one thing, you're absolutely right here, Jeffrey.
No, T. Licious should know right off the top of his head.
Yes, absolutely. You are absolutely right here, Jeffrey. I've stated in the past.
Can you mark the tape on that? Just kind of grab that.
No, sorry, it's lost to time. But any time that we were talking about Brock Purdy's contract, I've said time and time again, if that contract starts with a 4 or below, which it won't be, but a 4, I'm fine with it at a 4. But at a 5, 50 million or above, it's a mistake. I think we've seen time and time again that Brock Purdy, he has the requisite talent around him to make these wins and completions that he's completing to his credit time and time again. But that it's a question of who's pulling the best out of whom. And you can see time and time again that he needs that. He requires that. The moment that any of that depth is required, he pulls up short time and time again. And
as long as mediocre gets the job done, you don't want to lose your mediocre guy.
Oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying? You can't find another steady hand, another good guy. And he's a good guy. Listen, we're pulling for Brock Purdy. He's a local guy. We're glad he's making ridiculous amounts of money to go out and do what he's doing. So don't ever get us wrong.
He's not going to give you off the field issues. Like he's never going to rock the boat.
Yeah, nobody cares what we think. But we're also just kind of looking at it from every angle. So when I say, yeah, the 49ers probably should have franchise tagged him instead of giving him this giant contract, it doesn't mean I'm not happy for him.
Look, past 2 years, 2 years ago, goes to the Super Bowl. Of course, you signed him to a deal after then. Last year, which I feel like is much closer to what his ceiling is when you have to make a team around a 53 million average per year contract that he now has. It was underwhelming where they were out early for playoff contention. I think that it's a mistake and that the teams in his division are the happiest about this contract.
Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back with tons of texts on the text line about Brock Purdy and various other things, we'll pick it right back up. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Miss any part of the Daily Blender? Download the free podcast at 1580thefanatic.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship, sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Wrangler for the ride of life. Siwoo Kim tossed his 5-wood in the air and ran after the green at the par 3 6th. He made ace from 252 yards, the longest par 3 on a course full of them. Kim is 5 under, 3 off the lead with the second round winding down at Quail Hollow. Jonathan Vegas on top at 8 under still, 2 better than Matthew Pavon and Matt Fitzpatrick, who are 6 under. Scotty Scheffler birdies 15. He's worked his way to 5 under, now 3 back. Rory McIlroy, back-to-back birdies at 14 and 15. He is 1 under, 7 off the lead. Last year's PGA champion, Xander Schauffele, right on the cut line at +1 after a birdie at 15. So the green mile awaits that final 3-hole stretch, and Scheffler, McIlroy, and Schauffele all double bogeyed 16 yesterday. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
When I wake up,
the best mornings
in the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
I pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement projects. If you find a qualifying lower price somewhere else on the same item, we'll match it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Price match applies to same item, current price at qualifying retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at lowes.com/lowest price guarantee.
For Phi, winning the fight against vision loss means seeing new ways to push himself. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is committed to funding research to end blinding retinal diseases. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Learn more at fightingblindness.org.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Not another one.
26-year-old male wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. You know, these tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
We know how you feel. There's nothing better than a fall afternoon, an order of wings and a nice cold brew, and football. This fall, the Fanatic is your source for high school, college, and NFL football action. The high school game of the week on Friday nights, top line NCAA action on Saturdays, and the NFL primetime games. When it comes to football, we have you covered. We're 1580 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Dimeback Dude says, how dare you besmirch the good name of Brock Purdy? He has a street named after him in Gilbert. You know, I'm going to besmirch you right in the face, Dimeback Dude. I said very nice things about Brock Purdy. All we're doing here is doling out something you don't get down the dial. It's called the damn truth.
Yeah, and a little bit of context. And look, I'm actually happy for the guy.
Besmirch you right in the face.
Yeah, besmirch this. Look, I think that even though we can say that we don't think he deserves it, or not, actually, I don't agree
Phil
with that.
says he doesn't deserve it.
Yes,
I said the 49ers made a mistake.
I think, yes, that's what I should correct myself. It's not that he doesn't deserve it. I think that certainly I worry that you are misappropriating funds to make your team better in order by giving it to him as a quarterback when you could have
corporate malfeasance.
Yes, exactly. I think that you could be paying his contract to and spread that out to make the entire team better when you have such a gifted coach who is so good at nurturing the quarterback position that you are doing yourself a disservice whenever you pay exorbitant money towards the quarterback who you think is average, who can just do the job. I think that you can find that
in this day and age. Finding somebody who can manage, finding somebody who has the spirit and the locker room mentality and the leadership ability of Brock Purdy. All these things are very valuable, and also not knocking over the apple cart, not trying to start crap. You know, maybe making sure that your wide receivers and your running backs are happy and the O-line is happy. Everybody loves the guy, so. Maybe some things transcend his actual ability. I agree with you on the ability because the numbers don't lie. They're right here in front of us. I agree with you on the thought that, well, wow, maybe he shouldn't have been paid that much. But the 49ers, trying to keep every single angle together, look beyond his stats and said, no, this guy to our organization right now, he's worth it.
Yeah, but I mean, I can think he's the nicest guy. I can think he's a locker room guy. I can think that he's a leader. But Jeffrey, if you were to say Philip is the best worker at 1580 The Fanatic. He always makes sure that get himself a water, make sure to get guests waters, and he's always there with a smile.
Talking about Phil?
Yes, we're talking about so we're gonna give him a nice pay bump. We're gonna make him equal paid to Jeffrey.
You're still
O'Brien.
not the best employee.
No. But let's live in reality.
You know,
here.
I'm pretty sure it's me.
Yeah, sure. And then but if you say then, okay, let's pay him just as much as I do, as much as Jeffrey O'Brien.
As he doesn't get paid as much as me, I'm okay.
Okay, 1 cent less, so that way he can afford a mansion too. If he gets paid the exact, same.
I won't begrudge you a mansion.
Thank you. But now with that pay bump, now I'm going to need you to start just like I am, Jeffrey O'Brien, gunned and loaded. If I now need you to start lifting every day as soon as you come into work, need you to lift up 250 pounds on a dumbbell. You know, I'm going to fail at that.
They have 250-pound dumbbells. That just tells me you have not been in a gym in
eons,
forever.
Eons, my friend. Either way, the point is there's a difference between expectations and what can be realistically achieved with contracts and numbers. Yes. Can I think that he deserved it? Absolutely. Can I think that he deserved a raise? Absolutely. But I think that paying him this much does yourself a disservice as to the rest of the team and really put you at a deficit and an inability to construct a roster around him that is able to win at a high rate.
Dimeback Dude says, I was just kidding, guys. I think the 49ers are already a joke. I'll besmirch you in the face anyway. Justin Tip has this to say. He says, should San Francisco not have made this new contract? Start with a new, inexpensive quarterback? Well, that's the thing. Who? That's the big question.
Well, I think that they had a fair amount of options to go this offseason. I think that very easily, they could have gotten the exact same look within the division. I think that they could have gone with Sam Darnold and gotten that contract that the Seattle Seahawks had. And look, and you see how friendly that contract was for the Seattle Seahawks. I think that was very much a team friendly deal. Very, very rare in this day where it's like the middle starting quarterback deal where they're not making a transcendent amount of money. They're kind of in the middle of the market. That's what Sam Darnold just signed. And I think that he could have done exactly for the same thing within a system that he's already been in before there with the 49ers. He's familiar and everything else. I think that could have been an option you go. I think that there's a couple of different players. I mean, I don't know if there was any interest whatsoever, but Shedeur Sanders, obviously, there was an ability to get him for a cheaper ability. If you thought that, as I do, he's a franchise starting quarterback. But there's a bunch of different options. I think you could have gone and not gone to Brock Purdy and still been able to trade him away to somebody else, seeing if there was any value there.
You got to slow down, Phil.
Do I?
I feel like your head's going to explode.
And you know what? It's like it's all there. It's all there, and it's just itching to get out. Whenever something really grinds my gear.
Here's the thing. There's nobody in the control room. You can fart and let that pressure out the other end.
I see.
I feel like
you know what? I think I saw Radio Ron walking around here earlier, and I know that he's like a few offices away, but you don't want that to waft. Like I have one of those asexual farts where like it breathes unto itself and then just expands.
I feel like most farts are asexual.
Yes.
Ringless Joe says LeBron has been traded to the Phoenix Suns and returned for Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant. No, he hasn't, you liar.
Yeah, I mean, who wins in that trade is actually the Phoenix Suns. Then maybe they can actually make the playoffs. Heyo.
I'm not even going to entertain this. This is silliness.
It would be fun. Actually, Jeffrey, while we're on the topic of LeBron James, what I think would be an exquisite thing that would actually have you be favorable towards LeBron James, actually have some respect towards LeBron James, and would be
time out. I have respect for LeBron James. I just don't care for him that much. But I give him his props when he's due. At this age, he is just able to dominate and still come at you with force of nature type talent. No, anybody listening to the show knows that. Sometimes I don't care for him, the way he whines at the refs and stuff. But outside of that, I got no problem with LeBron James. Sometimes he's an asshat.
Well, there you go. See, I think that's just irrelevant. But anyways, I think
irrelevant. I feel if I think he's an asshat, he's an asshat.
No, he's not. But anyways, I think one move that he can make this offseason that I don't know is getting enough proper response. But if he were to, after having acquired the Luka Doncic and securing the Lakers' future to come, and leaving them in a much better place than when he started with them, giving them a championship, I think that the win-win-win move available to him is going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who just got pushed out in the second round, signing for the minimum because they can't really trade for him. Like, there's just not a real constructive way to do it. His contract is ended, so he'd have to sign for the minimum, pull a Tim Duncan, as we've seen time and time again, go back to Cleveland. Look, Cleveland would love to have him back. They have never gone past the second round beyond him before he got there and after him. And then you look at the Lakers. Again, he's leaving them in a better spot, gave him a championship, fulfilled his need there. And absolutely. And now, and from a Phoenix point of view, he gets to lead the Lakers off in a worse place than in a championship contention mode that they are currently in with him, and leaving him to just have Luka around and just build around them. That's a much harder task without LeBron. I
think he'll roll with the Lakers.
I think he does too. I mean, what I think most is unreasonable and unlikely about that is that he literally would have to go pretty much to the minimum in order to go sign with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't know if he's willing to do that, but if he was, that'd be incredible.
A new texter on the text line, 1323, says, Phil, this is not the Weekend Warriors. Ralph's not on. Stop all this Seahawks ass kissing. What are you talking about? He didn't even talk about the Seahawks. Did you even mention the
I
Seahawks?
mentioned them with Sam Darnold and them getting a good deal with Sam Darnold. And also,
to be fair, you talk really fast.
I do. There's a lot of information in there, but just as the kids yearn for the mine, there's nuggets in there. There are nuggets.
Yeah, I'm too tired to go mining.
I understand. But yes, no, I said that the Seahawks will be amongst the division foes in that and the teams that are most happy about the Brock Purdy contract, and then also that they got a deal with Sam Darnold. That's it.
I see. I don't know. Sam Darnold, I think they broke him again. He was fixed and then he got broken again at the end of the season.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily believe in him, but if it's not Kevin O'Connell,
he does exist.
Yes, no, I think
I've seen people go up and touch him.
It's the whole ghost talk around him. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if he is one or if he, it's kind of like in between. But if you believe in Kevin O'Connell, then Sam Darnold should revert back to what he was prior to going to Minnesota. But if Kevin O'Connell is just kind of got the most out of him, but they're still like there and he unlocked what Sam Darnold is, then the Seahawks got a tremendous deal.
Moist One says, breathe.
Thank you.
He says, turn off the shot clock, Jeffrey. Let my man Phil breathe.
Appreciate it.
I never put a clock. I never put a clock on him, but I have noticed your speed increases.
Whenever there's something more fervent, and whenever
it's just you and me, nobody's here to get in the way.
I know.
You got time.
I guess so, but it's one of those things where I want to allow time for both of us and the listeners.
And I don't mind. I don't mind you getting to the point. I don't mind
Absolutely.
you having all the stuff you have to say. Don't mind that at all. I just don't want to see your head explode.
That's true. Yeah, it's
I
like an
feel
airhead.
This is leading towards some sort of kind of thing.
Well, it is to that, but not for my head.
Moving on. Moist One says he's got to box out Neil and Ralph. That's what he says. I can fix him.
Rocky
Top says Harris cannot come back soon enough. I cannot stand all this LeBron James and Seattle Seahawks and LA Dodgers ass kissing by Philip.
Who said that Dodger? I don't even.
We haven't
I did not
talked
mention
about the Dodgers.
Yes, I did not mention the Dodgers.
This must be somebody who hears you on Saturday and just assumes.
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Ringless Joe says Dak Prescott's going to get to prove his statement about beating the Eagles on day one.
That would be crazy. You know what?
They will not beat the Eagles on day one.
Is that the one time that the Cowboys would be rooted for? Is if they can somehow upset the Eagles in a game one, because nobody would expect that? I think that's the one time that the Cowboys would actually have the entire nation once again united in rooting for the Cowboys.
That I think we can agree on.
Yeah.
Regal Beagle says, I'm just going to save a lot of time not having to text in. Just whatever Phil says, assume I think the exact opposite.
Here, Regal Beagle.
He says, calling Purdy mediocre with 64 touchdowns and 27 interceptions, excellent processing skills, and can run is also just ridiculous. Yeah, but I got to be honest, Regal Beagle. I don't know if the word is mediocre, but mid-range. I don't know. I mean, he's not setting the world on fire with his numbers, but he's competent. He's competent, Regal Beagle. So I don't feel that it's ridiculous. You might just not like some of the words Phil uses to explain it.
Well, but also the problem is that you're not paying him like you would
I'm
Sam
not paying him.
Yeah, no, none of us are paying him. But the 49ers aren't paying him to be mediocre and to where he fits into that in the hierarchy of where quarterbacks are paid. He's being paid as a top 6 quarterback. Dude, does anybody have a quarterback list of hierarchy of the top 6 quarterbacks where he makes that? No, nobody in the world. So that's where I have umbrage. That's where I have issue with this contract. That's the only reason why.
Ringless Joe says, so what happened to Keon? His Commanders finally became good and he ran off the sunset like a Looney Tunes character? That's exactly what happened to Keon.
Precisely, yeah.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, LeBron is the most religious man I've seen in sports. Jesus heals him mid-game from some of the most serious-looking injuries I've ever seen. I thought he was dead a few times with those falls. Yes, I mean, he does have a Lazarus-type quality to him, doesn't he?
Yes.
Moist One says, I read that. Let's see. George says, I personally like Phil. He's very well-spoken. He's not concise.
No, certainly not.
But he has a voice for radio. It's like listening to Rush Limbaugh. What?
I think in there is a couple of compliments. I'll take it.
Rush Limbaugh's dead.
I don't think he meant current modern day Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah,
I think he meant in his prime
like
Rush
loading
Limbaugh.
gases escaping from a corpse.
Yeah, it'd be like complimenting somebody's game about Bill Russell. You're not talking about his current. Like I have current Bill Russell's game, you know,
yeah, me
stiff
too.
and yeah,
Sure.
but not prime Bill Russell. That's a different issue.
Hurry Harry says, Phil, how do you do it? Do you even take a breath?
I take a breath prior to me.
You took a breath like last week.
Yes, absolutely.
2863 says, I love this Phil guy. He speaks the truth on the Lakers and LeBron James. He is the greatest athlete of all time. I don't know about the greatest athlete of all time, but he is a force of nature. And at his age, doing what he's doing, you have to give respect. I may not care for him that much, and it makes it worse that he's on the Lakers. But beyond that, though, no. I mean, he at this age can still take over a game. He can still exert his will, driving to the basket, and then sometimes just breaking your heart with a three. You have bad information, Phil, if you think I've just hated on LeBron James all this time.
Well, there have been bagging ons, but that's about it.
Oh, I'm happy to bag on. It's the Lakers.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. I got a lot of you guys still here on the text line, which I have not gotten to. I will get to, I promise. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender is streamed live on YouTube. Search 1580 The Fanatic to watch.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. No application fee if you apply by May 30th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
Not another one.
26-year-old male wasn't wearing his seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. You know, these tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
Your home for sports. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I'm sorry. I was just doing a little fun reading. Oh, that made me feel good. Here's the headline. Main building at Nottoway Plantation considered total loss following fire. Oh, no. The plantation burned down. Oh, no. What's that?
What kind of plantation? Because I mean,
You
there's
know, the one that used to have slaves picking cotton and all that kind of stuff.
oh, I see. Because there's a couple different plantations. I mean, if we're talking about the Oompa Loompa plantation, that's a little bit different than
No, I mean, to be honest, yeah, I mean, I feel like Willy Wonka should have been up on charges
Oh yeah.
for everything he did, but we don't have time for that right now. I had a nice laugh. We're going to move on. 888-368-1580. Slow Mo Zo says, is LeBron that good or is the league that bad?
Oh my
He's that
God.
good, Slow Mo Zo.
Oh my God.
Well, everybody, buckle down. Here comes fast talking Phil.
To say that he's not that good, first of all, I'm assuming if one is making this argument, then they must be a Jordan apologist, which if they are, okay, whatever. Which argument do you want to take? Do you want to take the fact that the league realigned in the middle so that way it moved conferences and so that way it was actually easier to expand it in his era as opposed to LeBron James? It expanded prior to his era in his career. Okay, so it got watered down and the talent got more spread out during that time for Jordan, which allowed him to assert more dominance and have less well-constructed teams until the peak of his powers. Okay, that's one. Two, if you want to talk about how there's more teams now that LeBron has had to have, as well as we look at around the league, there are far more max-worthy players and contracts that lead to better and well-rostered depth charts across the entire league per team. That's another case for it. And then finally, you look at the specialization of sports and skills that are associated specifically with the NBA, especially when you look at how much these athletes are being paid and how much they are able to specialize within either it's just skills, whether it be shooting, whether it be just passing, whether it just be athleticism, or heck, the culmination of all three. That certainly was not there when Jordan was playing, at least leading up to his prime bare minimum. And how Jordan himself was the one who revolutionized the workout regimen that soon began to happen after his career or even towards the middle of his career. Okay, is it not that good? Are you kidding me? To somehow say that evolution is going backwards and that we aren't, as a society, getting bigger, better, stronger each year, and somehow 2 generations beyond Michael Jordan, somehow the athletes that are specialized and professionals heading into college now, as opposed to this, you know, the freaking guy who's going to the mini mart after school during Jordan's heyday and you know, working at the Hoosiers during the day is somehow less than what Jordan compared to. Okay, whatever.
You want to hear something worse? Donnie says Anthony Edwards is better than LeBron today. Suck it, Phil.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, of course. Anthony Edwards is a top 3 player that I think anybody that doesn't have Wemby or Jokic or maybe even, well, maybe not Giannis at this specific moment, but usually a Giannis-like talent would not trade their superstar for, but that's about it. So he's a top 5 player unquestionably. LeBron James can get to be a top 5 player at best.
Too early, Donnie. Too early to say that Anthony Edwards is better than LeBron. Of course, today, because LeBron is towards the end of his career. But in general, there hasn't been enough mileage put on Anthony Edwards to say he's better than LeBron. Don't even come at me with better than Michael Jordan. Listen, Anthony Edwards is very, very good. Let's see how good he can be. We just don't know yet. Just a Tip says LeBron flops. LeBron talks about his game. LeBron points to his stats. I don't think Jordan did any of that.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, Michael Jordan doesn't point to his stats. That's why he finally approved an entire documentary about him and his career.
The documentary wasn't just a multi episode series of his stats. There was more to it than just that.
It was his stats and his achievements. And do you know when he approved that? It was when LeBron James had his highest achievement in career accomplishment and coming back from 3-1 against the greatest regular season winning team of all time.
I doubt that the two things are connected.
What are you talking about? He was asked time and time again, perpetually, Michael Jordan was, to approve and make a go at this documentary that would go throughout the entirety of his NBA playing career and highlight the highs as well as the lows given to him, some of the lows, I should say, across his career. And he never approved that. But when was the moment? When was the moment that turned and
why does it matter?
Because he is definitely a petty man who does look towards the entire Nike Jordan brand and the shield that is that entire brand towards his legacy. That of course he always.
All I'm saying is the Last Dance was not just one long stat. There were so many different stories.
There were some branches, but it was through the
not
one
all
through
of them
line.
Were very flattering towards him either.
I agree. He had a few that were unflattering to him, but overall, it was very much a reinforcement of his career and legacy and impact.
Nah, I was fine with it. Firefighter says, a Jordan apologist? You realize the league was a lot tougher in the 90s than now, more physical. LeBron wouldn't be able to hang with the physicality of the 80s and 90s. I think he would. He would be crying on the floor from a swift check from Patrick Ewing or Isaiah Thomas. Patrick Ewing, yes. Maybe not Isaiah Thomas.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing, maybe. Isaiah Thomas, who was like two of him could be LeBron, maybe. Yeah, I don't. That's utterly absurd. Somehow, we look at even Jason Tatum this week, right? Like, unfortunately, had a career, or not a career, but perhaps a career-defining injury. Like, we'll see. Hopefully, he comes back. We always wish for and hope for the best. But he certainly has, he was amongst the most durable superstars in the league. But now you look at LeBron James. He has not had a season-ending injury in his entire career. That is astounding. Like, you can put that towards genetics just as much as like Michael Phelps can put towards, he's half fish, towards like being towards like what made him great. Sure, like you luck out to some degree, but having the greatest athlete of all time and saying that you can't put him in an era 20 years ago where guys were a little more touchy
LeBron
grabby.
James is not the greatest athlete of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Not going to have this argument with you, Phil. Walter Mellon says, glad to have Phil back in the booth. Well, that was short-lived for Harris. Harris will be back Monday, in theory. I wonder if we might have sent him home and they're going to be like, Harris, you don't have to take this. Chosen One says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Happy Friday. Possible question of the day: smoked, grilled, or oven cooking for a rack of ribs? I think smoked is always the best way to go. Grilled would be second. Oven cooking? Why?
Well, oven cooking's fine. It's nobody's preferred.
Wilbur says 49ers suck and they'll continue to suck as long as it's up to me. Nice waste of money. Wilbur, you're just bitter. Baker's Cocky Hen says Caitlyn Jenner is the greatest athlete of all time. I don't know about Caitlyn, but Bruce Jenner sure was good. Sir Drives a Lot says LBJ is going to leave the game worse than he found it. LBJ is a flop machine. The whole league flops and foul baits.
Lyndon B. Johnson left the presidency in a very fine state of affairs when
he was
left.
hard on dogs' ears, though. He
Oh,
used
he
to pick up his dogs by the ears. That was horrible.
Ooh, how?
Yeah. He
That's
was not
awful.
nice to dogs.
Yeah, never mind. He did leave it at worse place.
2863 says Anthony Edwards is better than LeBron. What fantasy land is that Donald guy living in?
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking about
Queen
current-
Creek, he lives in Queen Creek.
If you're talking about current, like the current, right now as it stands heading into next season. Yeah, I mean, duh. But not if we're talking about the entirety of a career. There's no way that Anthony Edwards is anywhere, having not even won one championship, let alone a conference championship, better than LeBron James.
Moist One says, it's actually impressive that Phil can come up with a cohesive point while rambling on for so long. I almost expect him to say something about the white genocide in South Africa as if he's reading from Grok AI. He's not reading. This is all just coming out of Phil's noggin right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ringless Joe says, WNBA, who you got, Jeffrey? Got my wife. Just the Tip says, Anthony Mason, Charles Oakley, Ewing. LeBron would have had a different career in this era. Yeah, I see. That's the thing. I mean, yes, it would be different. Of course, it would be different,
yes.
but physically, no, I think he could hang with those guys. Now, remember getting fouled all the time and the flopping thing would never fly. So his game would change, but I think he's smart enough and he's physical enough to adjust to whatever it needs to be. Does that mean maybe he wouldn't be as great? Maybe. I don't know. Grand Mariner says, what are you talking about, Phil? LBJ was a horrible president who left the country in shambles with the Vietnam War. Yeah, LBJ did suck as a president.
That is true. I was just trying to defend the state of the presidency.
Although he did do some stuff for civil rights.
He did a few. It was more so out of like forced needed
Well,
to.
yeah,
but
because of the legacy of the guy who
Yeah.
suddenly got shorter. Walter Mellon says Steph Curry is better than James. He has more rings and he did it with one team.
What? No, he doesn't have more rings, first
Phil,
of all.
he's trying to bait you.
And it's working. Give me the hook. Put it in my cheek. Are you kidding me? What in the heck?
Moist One says, I'm a Jordan apologist, as in Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Yeah, I'd apologize to her too. Yeah, absolutely.
Really? No.
You don't find her attractive?
No.
Yeah, I can find her attractive, even though I think, it's a little, her
Yeah.
personal life choices are a little.
She looks like her elbows. You could open an envelope with one of her elbows. You know what I mean? Just kind of, and her just very sharp features.
She does
like-
have very sharp features. You're absolutely
That's
right.
an angry face getting ready to come at you.
Well,
You
that's
know what
why
I mean?
she was runner-up to the runner-up this year in that pageant that Bill Belichick
Right.
came up to.
Yeah, so I just pictured Bill Belichick like in Citizen Kane sitting there when she was up there just trying to get everybody to I guess they're not. You know, Bill, you don't have any power in that area. You know, I don't know if you have any power at all, to be honest, because he's come out saying in his interview with the guy who whistles when he talks, Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. Well, then why did you say everything that you email to the coach, copy the girlfriend who has nothing to do with UNC football? Bill Belichick, you're a liar. We knew that because of all the cheating you did over the years. But in this case, you're a liar.
Or delusional, like somebody where it's like, hey, Grandpa, we might need to take the car keys away. Because if it's one of the two. It's one of the two where it's either he's forgetting what he's saying, he's not having full control. I mean, everybody to a man can say this is not the same Bill Belichick who was at the Patriots saying no distractions, right as winning a Super Bowl.
Do your job.
Yeah, no days off, trying to get the entire crowd yelling, no days off. This is not that same Bill Belichick. One just wonders if that kernel that is left is enough to make UNC prominent again, or for the first time ever.
George says, man, this show's been all over the place so far today. Accomplishments of LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Lyndon Johnson, Bill Belichick's infant girlfriend. What a show. I really missed this the last couple of days. Well, welcome back, George. Welcome back. Baker's Cocky Hen says LeBron was way better. LeBron was better than Anthony Edwards this season. Anthony Edwards has never had a better season than LeBron. Maybe when LeBron is 45, I think he means when Anthony Edwards is 45, that'll happen.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Or he means when LeBron's 45 years old. Isn't he 45 now?
Yeah, he's 42.
Hour 2 is up next.
One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship. Scotty Scheffler spent yesterday complaining about mud balls at Quail Hollow. Today, he's just landing darts.
7-iron to a front left hole location at 17. We're playing a tee box up. Scheffler down and through. This one might have to hustle just a little bit. It does. Just barely lands on the front of the green, and now it's going to kick left and get up there inside of the stick. That's going to be 4 feet. Oh, great shot from Scotty Scheffler here at 17.
Brian Katrick, the call on Sirius XM, but Scheffler put too much pace on the putt. It rimmed out to the left. Scheffler put his hand over his mouth in disbelief. He made par, still 5 under, 3 back of Jonathan Vegas, who is 8 under and in the clubhouse. Matthew Pavon, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Siwoo Kim, 2 back at 6 under. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, not alongside Randy White. He's decided to take National Barbecue Day off to make some vittles, as they say. But we got Filthy Phil and Phil in there, Phil Bertos. Phil's philanthropy is filling out off.
That last one was not going to go your way.
You were wondering. No, it's Phil, the fill-in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale, and we have gotten nothing done that I had thought we would talk about today. We've gone all over the damn place, and that's fine. Just there's some stuff I wanted to go over, and kind of bummed Randy's not here. Nothing personal, Phil, but it's National Barbecue Day. And so I guess they did this, they do the brackets and stuff for fun things.
Yes.
Not always the NCAA.
Right.
Well, it brought some food matchups that I thought I'd run past everybody. These should be no-brainers.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you 2 things. You pick the best one.
Sounds good. I'm ready.
Okay. Burgers or dogs?
Burgers.
Correct. Chicken or pulled pork?
Pulled pork.
Pulled pork is the best, but most people say chicken.
Really?
Sausage or ribs?
Ribs.
Of course it's ribs. Yeah. Potato salad or coleslaw?
I'm going to sit this one out. I don't eat either. But I'd go coleslaw, given like how some people would like die over coleslaw as opposed to potato salad.
Yeah, you're incorrect. Potato salad.
Okay.
And not really my saying you're incorrect is based on me. So everybody's doing it my way. Macaroni salad or macaroni and cheese?
Macaroni and cheese.
Everybody agrees on the macaroni and cheese. Watermelon or pineapple?
Watermelon.
Of course. I mean, that's one you ask and people give you a look like, what the hell? Why would you even ask?
Well,
of course it's watermelon.
Yeah, it's watermelon and pineapple is fine. It's a splendid delight if you come upon it. But if you had the choice going
certain
into
benefits.
Yeah, but give it. Well, yes, absolutely. But if you head into the arena and somebody's asking you either or, you're always kind of picking the watermelon.
Baked beans or cornbread?
Cornbread, personally, with a little bit of chunks of corn in it.
You know what? That's a tough split for me. Love baked beans, but I also love the cornbread. I'll take either.
Yeah, a good cornbread is divine
choose.
And a treasure to have. But what I will say is that it's easier to find bad cornbread than it is to find bad beans. Like beans are pretty.
I disagree.
Average.
I've had a spoonful of from the baked bean department.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Final one: grilled veggies or corn on the cob.
Corn on the cob. There's nothing better than to get your 2 little skewers and just like a man, just like. And then just go to town. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody agrees on that one for sure. Get away from me with these grilled vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't even get me started. I mean, I know that Randy will say, "Hell yeah, I like grill some vegetables there. Throw them in there with the other things." I'm like, I don't want that nonsense near me.
Yeah, I think in order to make grilled vegetables like really good, you have to take a lot of steps. Like you got to put it in the grill and you got to soak it in some honey, some hot honey, and then have it there. And then even then you're like, oh, it's some carrots.
I just can't give the same amount of effort and work to vegetables that I do to meat. You know what I mean? I've done asparagus on the grill. I got a flat surface you put on the top of the grill and you kind of roll the asparagus around. I'm like, this is too much damn work for it to not be meat. So I don't do that anymore.
Fair enough.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you heard the news, the Dick's Sporting Goods is going to acquire Foot Locker.
Really?
They'll call it Dick's Locker.
I don't think that was
worse if they call it Dick Locker.
That well, I think they might have a boost in feminine clientele.
I don't think they can call it Foot Dicks. I don't know there's any variation of this, but since Dick's Sporting Good is buying Foot Locker, I think that it's just reasonable to call it Dick's Locker.
What about Foot Dick's Locker?
That's too now
too convoluted.
It's too complicated.
Okay.
Anyway, Moist One says foot job.
No, that's what you apply for.
Yeah,
but
people are. Yeah. So the Arizona Diamondbacks are playing again today, 6:40 p.m. Starting their series with the with the Colorado Rockies over at Chase Field. Game starts at 6:40. We are. Wait a second.
What's that?
Oh, I thought the spread was 42.5 points.
No.
Turns out, no, the money line is minus 425.
Yeah.
The spread is 2.5 points.
Yeah. That's one of those where you look at it and you say, no, I'm wrong. It
I
can't
need
be
better
42.
glasses.
A little bit. Yes.
So here's the thing about the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is the kind of game and or series that they just love to blow. You know, they just love to lose these games. Oh yeah, play the Dodgers tough. Oh right, yeah, sure, why not? Play anybody else tough? Oh yeah.
Take the series from the Giants. Yeah.
Worst team comes to town.
Yeah, you know that they're going to give them a game. You already know. You're just like,
oh, I mean, one game you can kind of live with, but these are the games that drive me crazy right now. Oh, by the way, Corbin Burns is on the mound today. He's been doing all right?
Yeah.
He's won a couple games.
Respectable.
Yeah, he's okay.
Kind of ho-hum.
Nobody's doing great for the Diamondbacks on the mound.
Look, they're 6 games back from the division leading Dodgers, about 5 games back from San Diego Padres, who are right there keeping pace with the Dodgers. And look, the Dodgers are having 2 easy series, right? They lost 1 to the A's, but they then won and took that series. Now they're heading to the Freeway Series of their own to face against the Angels. And just in order to keep pace with at least their division, not even in their conference, but in their division, they desperately need to sweep these Colorado Rockies. You have to bank in the bad teams, especially whenever you're in such a great division. Yep. Now, you cannot take for granted the Colorado Rockies and let the plucky upstart Colorado Rockies, who just fired their manager, who are in absolute turmoil and chaos, heading to your stadium. There is no reason or viable way that they can at all be able to go out and lose this game, even if Torey Lovullo is all tired and vocally hoarse from being tossed out and throwing out the entire umpiring crew back in San Francisco. I don't care.
It would have been funny if one of the umpires went, oh, okay, just started walking off going, wait a minute.
You don't know. What? How dare you, sir?
All right. So, yes, this should be a nice outing for the family to go and watch a game over at Chase Field and hopefully thump the Rockies, but nothing is a guarantee. So here's hoping.
Yeah, this should be, I forget what the current promotion is, but it should be, back in my day, it should be a good taco week from Jack in the Box, where if they score enough home runs and stuff, this should be a taco-filled weekend get the family together.
I love a taco-filled weekend.
Yeah.
So, you know how Pete Rose, the commissioner of baseball, says, "Hey, okay, he's reinstated. You guys can do whatever you want. You can put him in the Hall of Fame if you want now."
And Shoeless Joe Jackson,
sure, and some other guys too. Well, and then now in Cincinnati, Pete Rose got celebrated by the Reds. This happened on Wednesday night. Right after everybody's like, "Oh, Pete Rose," and Pete Rose's daughter was there saying, "Oh, this is great," but. You know, Jane Doe wasn't there. Jane Doe probably had nothing to do with this. You know, the gal who said that Pete Rose had sex with her when she was 14. And when asked about it, Pete Rose goes, okay, it was 55 years ago, babe. So we're still going to put him in a Hall of Fame? Yeah. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah, the woman identified, Jane Doe, said that Rose would call her up in 1973 when she was 14 or 15. They'd have sexual encounters in Cincinnati over the course of a couple of years. And at the time, Pete Rose was in his mid-30s and married with 2 children. Hell of a guy.
Yeah, not even a jewel of a guy off the field. In fact, that's another reason why people relished in the idea of keeping him out for the lifetime ban.
This one says, wasn't he number 14? You don't get to date your number.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of people that would go 21 then. It would be the number one. Look, I think the reason why Robert Manfred, who people are saying that this move destroys his legacy, which if you ask a lot of people in baseball, they would say, what legacy? He already ruined it already at certain points. I don't know if I'd go that far. I understand the idea of it's a lifetime ban. He's no longer alive, so therefore it falls off. I can understand that logic. And I think that what you're saying, Jeffrey, I think I can hold two thoughts at once to where the lifetime ban can fall off, but also I myself would not vote for him. I would not go for him to go in the Hall of Fame. And I think that that's up to the voters to decide and to follow suit. Now, that being said, I fall in line of where it's like he should be available to be on the ballot. If he does ever get enshrined, he should have an asterisk next to his name. It should be with a mark, a black mark, if you want.
Who's Mark?
Probably Wahlberg. You know,
he's selling black.
Well, but he
has some really weird stipulations.
If he's selling some Wahlburgers next to Pete Rose, I think that being the shill that he was, Pete Rose would actually enjoy that if he was able to make some money, you know, while he's being enshrined. I think he'd enjoy that.
I'm not even really sure what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right
Point being is that I think Pete Rose, I think that he is somebody who you can certainly have a bunch of things, and that Rob Manfred, I think, and part of allowing him to be capable, to be allowable, to be enshrined into the Hall of Fame was with the thought that, well, he's dead, so he can't really give us any more anything that could stain his legacy anymore. Well, just hold on, just for one moment here. Let's there's another door that can be had. It's just a very rocky road to drive down.
888-368-1580. Big George says, I miss when they used to give you a free thirst buster at Circle K after every Diamondbacks game when the Diamondbacks pitching struck out more than 10 guys. During the Randy Johnson days, that was almost every game.
Oh, yeah, that was fantastic.
So should we just we should probably talk some basketball now.
Absolutely.
So so last night I love that the Denver Nuggets have now taken this to a game 7. That makes me so happy.
Yes.
So very, very happy. And we were talking about the intensity that Jokic has, and he had it last night, led Denver with 29 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. But he got help. Christian Braun, he went nuts for 23 points. And Julian Strother, he was the one who really gave them a good spark in the second half with 15 points. He had a pair of threes and that came at just the right time. In fact, he played tough. He lost a crown in the fourth quarter. He got a little physical in there, and somebody popped him in the mouth, and a crown went flying. Ball boy went and found it, and he rinsed it off in his mouth and gave it back to him. That was really nice of the ball boy. But not great, with some of the injuries that came out of stuff. But listen, this is just 2 days of rest. Everybody will be ready to go on Sunday.
Well, I think one thing that has been shown and proven time and time again in this specific playoff series, if not the entire playoffs, is that Denver is an incredible clutch team. Like, you almost have to blow them out if you're the Oklahoma City Thunder, or else you have to lean that the Denver Nuggets will win the game, because the Denver Nuggets have been so incredibly clutch in whenever the game is close, whenever it's tied, and that kind of leads to their veteran savviness and sportsmanship that they've accumulated. That is certainly championship pedigree, and that Nikola Jokic himself is just an offensive wonderkid. Like, he is just incredible time and time again.
But the next game is in Oklahoma City.
That is true. And it's certainly a game 7, the most pressure, the highest point that any of these Oklahoma City Thunder players, maybe except for Alex Caruso, who won a championship with the Lakers. It's pretty much anybody on that team will have faced up to this point. And so it is certainly going to be either a crowning moment or a learning moment for that Oklahoma City Thunder. But this is something that is like, whenever you look at the Denver Nuggets, This is probably number 5 on their most recent highest pressure point moments in their recent playoff history for them. So you have to lean that the veteran savviness and the ability to overcome these pressure cooker moments for the Denver Nuggets is certainly leaning towards them and their expertise on how to handle all this. Not to mention Jamal Murray has just been incredible in these need them, gotta have them moments.
True. Yeah, absolutely right on that. And he'd been sick lately. That didn't help him.
That's true. And one thing that I think should be noted is that if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think that it is an interesting case of saying who would they rather face in a series coming up next and in the conference championships. There's a case to be made that you would not want the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are younger, who would be more refreshed, who are coming into this, even though they are the number one and they are the number 1 seeded team. They certainly have a lot of matchup advantages to the Minnesota Timberwolves. But on the other side of the coin is the best player in the world. But they're coming off of now what would be 2 back-to-back series of game 7s, high pressurized moments, very physical, asking a lot of them.
They're going to be tired.
It's going to be tired. I don't know which way you would lean.
But Phil, this is a team that's won a championship recently.
Yes,
this is a team that knows what to do when you get there. Sure, they win on Sunday. They'll only have a couple of days to be ready for the Timberwolves. But yeah, I still got my money on them. But first, yeah, you're right. They got to get past the Oklahoma City Thunder. Minnesota probably would rather have the Nuggets. That's the only reason. But it's which poison do you want? You want the tired best player in the planet, or do you want the youthful spring in their steps Oklahoma City Thunder? I don't think there's a good choice there.
Yeah, I think the best that you can hope for is the tired beast that you at least know, because remember last season we went into the conference championships saying, wow, look at what a great job the general manager of the Minnesota Timberwolves did in creating a monster that can kill the monster he created because he was the one who orchestrated the Denver Nuggets championship roster and core and then recreated that in Minnesota. So you would think that a team constructed specifically with Denver Nuggets in mind would want to face them again, but gosh, asking for that medicine twice in 2 seasons, you always kind of feel like, I don't know if I want to play against the best player in the world and it's not even close. I don't know. It's crazy.
Big George says he thinks whoever does win this series will lose to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Timberwolves are firing in all cylinders right now, and Anthony Edwards is playing out of his mind. Yeah, you might be right, but don't count out. I honestly would rather see Denver play Minnesota than OKC.
I think that is a much closer matchup for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
better series.
You've got the kind of players on Denver who can will it into being. But you're not wrong, George. You're not wrong about what you're saying about how Timberwolves, they've got some rest and they are playing out of their mind. And it's not just Anthony Edwards, primarily, but not just. 888-368-1580. So there's a game in 45 minutes between the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. The Boston Celtics have hung in there and tried. New York can put this away tonight or not. What's your gut tell you? Do you think the Celtics are going to pull one out in Madison Square Garden, or do you think this is going to come to a complete end?
I think that you look at what Kristaps Porzingis has not been giving the Celtics, and you look at, I forget now, but I think it was Luke Cornett. Yes, Luke Cornett exploded for his own 10 points in a very efficient manner in Game 5, which allowed them to stave off elimination. As far as the Celtics go, look, Madison Square Garden is going to be absolutely rocking. We've discussed it before. This is the most meaningful game that they've had in decades, in absolute decades. I think that it's going to be it's a hellacious place to play whenever it's this much emotion and turmoil that the New York Knicks bring to every Madison Square Garden game that they host. And the fact that they have an elimination game in their house right there, I think that this is obviously, maybe in a dumb moment, the best shot that the New York Knicks have. But I would definitely go with the New York Knicks, mostly because if you look at how both teams performed in the last game, it felt like the Celtics were just playing absolutely above their skids, and the New York Knicks were the ones who just kind of felt unimpressive in their moment, but they certainly could go back to the average of what they normally do and still win with some margin for victory there.
All right, listen, we got more basketball to talk about when we come back, and tons of other stuff too. There's hockey, there's football, there's Oreos. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Miss any part of the Daily Blender? Download the free podcast at 1580thefanatic.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship, sponsored by Kohl's. Make the most of summer with stylish looks from Kohl's and Kohls.com, where families come first. Grand Slam champion Rory McIlroy will make the cut, but barely. McIlroy hit his tee shot at 18 off a hospitality tent left of the fairway, almost landed in the creek. McIlroy made bogey. He's one over, right on the cut line, 9 off the lead. Rory's been wild with his driver this week. SiriusXM reports McIlroy is using his backup driver after his other driver was ruled non-conforming during a random USGA test on Tuesday. Now we'll see if Johnny Vegas pulls the covers up to his neck tonight and falls fast asleep, or if he's up all night. He is in the unfamiliar position of leading a major, 8 under par, 2 shots clear of the field. Scotty Scheffler, 5 under, 3 back. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
There are low prices, and then there are Kohl's lowest prices of the season. I got myself a comfy tee for just $4.99 and a stylish dress for 50% off. Then I found my husband a pair of shorts for under $17. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash. Yup, it doesn't get better than Kohl's lowest prices of the season. So go check them out before it's too late. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offers end May 18th. See store at Kohls.com for details.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Not another one.
26-year-old male, wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. You know, these tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
The Rich Eisen Show. The question involving the Philadelphia Eagles is who is standing in their way of repeating? It's the schedule. The Philadelphia Eagles will face 7 of the top 10 scoring offenses from last season. They will face 6 of the top 7 scoring defenses from last season. They have 11 games against 2024 playoff teams. My goodness.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at 9 a.m. on 1580, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. I don't know if you heard about this. They did chuckle a little bit, but Draymond Green got fined $50,000 for inappropriate comment on referees' integrity. The comment was really a pantomime where he was mouthing the words 5.5 and spread while gesturing his fingers behind the referee, like 5.5. That's, basically inferring that the referees, might have been doing a little Tim Dunahee action there or something, trying to make some money gambling or whatever.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that it was directed at the referees, because what I know was that
by the way, the Warriors did go on to lose by 5 points.
Oh, they certainly did. But it was kind of, if you looked at the way that whole thing worked out in real time, I remember the way that I interpreted it was that Draymond Green ordered, I believe it was Kuminga, who took like a meaningless, absolutely meaningless last second shot for the 3-pointer that covered the 5, which was an absolute bad beat if you had the Timberwolves minus 5.5, because he was avidly aware. Just goes to show you one more time, yet again, that every time that those athletes go out and say, "Oh, we don't listen to the media, we don't listen to the elders, we don't listen to whatever," yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's something that's like it might occur to them, but it's not like they sit there and like stress about it.
Oh no.
So what the hell was that? Is that your phone?
That
does
was.
That
was.
Is that what happens? You get a text message?
Yes, I got to turn that off.
Is that like specific for one person, or anybody texts you, your phone cheers?
That would be that is
because I'm going to say, my God, you're lonely.
No, that's funny. That's funny. No, it is just for my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
My see, here's the thing. That's fun. My wife, she would ask me constantly what the noises on my phone stood for. She would like constantly, because when you got your phone there, you have like a bling for this, and then a bling for that, or a for something else. And she kept asking me, and I got kind of tired of her asking me all the time. So what I did was I programmed all of my things to actually say it out loud. So now when I get a text, it says text message. When I get an email, it says email. So then she doesn't ask me anymore. But it does get me some looks when I'm in line. Text message, and some stranger goes, "Hey, you got a text message? Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks."
The next step of AI is going to be that it'll read, like Morgan Freeman will be like, "You got a text message from Philip saying the whole building is burning down."
I would not mind either of that, the building burning down or it being from Morgan Freeman.
That's amazing.
They'd better save Morgan Freeman's brain in AI.
Or at least his voice, right?
Both. The entire thing.
The whole, from the throat up, Morgan Freeman.
Just like those heads on The Simpsons.
No, Futurama.
Futurama.
Yeah.
Same thing. Whatever.
Yeah, really.
So Adam Silver is squinting right now. He's kind of squinting. You know what I mean? This is what happens when, you're standing there and somebody comes into your space. They come in, you're like, "What are you doing in here?" Like if your neighbor walked over and just stood in your driveway, not looking at your house, but standing there, and you're like, "Oh, what's going on over here? Yeah. What's going on here?" That's the best way I can think that the turtle without a shell, Adam Silver, is just squinting. Like, "Well, what's going on there, NFL?" No, I see you. I see you on Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
That's our day. But then he has to be like, "There's nothing wrong with competition. We don't own Christmas, even though we've been playing on Christmas Day for 75 years in our league." We play on Christmas Day. Everybody knows that. But I think competition keeps you on your toes. NFL season opportunity on Christmas, I accept that. And there's been some discussion around Christmas Eve. I'm not sure if that makes sense for the NBA. I think given Christmas has been such a tradition in our league, guys have known there's no games on Christmas Eve, and well, that's an opportunity to be with their family. Yeah. He's about ready to melt down, I think.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
if Roger Goodell's house is toilet papered, you're going to see a shiny little bald head streaking through the doorbell footage.
The Ring doorbell, yeah.
Yeah, because no, this is really bad news for the NBA.
You know what? The NFL continues to display its power through its prowess of knowing that if we can somehow make it, the NFL, a year-long endeavor, like a year-long nonstop machine that everybody's interested in, whether it be through, I heard a voice this way. The NFL does not show its power by having everybody watch the Super Bowl. Like that's a crowning achievement, certainly. But you know how you can tell how healthy the NFL is? Whenever everybody in the millions is watching the NFL draft, whenever everybody is interested about the schedule release. Like these are the ways and methods through which we can truly have a barometer on just how prominent and powerful sports, and to a bigger extent, and the NFL specifically, is to the American culture and entertainment industry. So whenever the NFL is trying its best to expand its what used to be 16 weeks, now we're looking at 17 weeks. Now we're maybe going to go to 18 weeks. Oh yeah, and we can further out, bring this out all the way. Why wouldn't they, within their calendar of sports games? Why would they not engorge and also be like, well, wait, why are we not? Why are we not having Christmas? Like, why are we just openly giving this to the NBA? And unfortunately, one wonders whether or not a little sports competition is healthy for the entirety of a genre of sports as an entertainment product, or whether or not the NFL is just going to keep feeding on everything and maybe just slowly just eat away at whatever viewership the NBA had. I don't know.
Well, there's nothing anyone can do. The only thing
Oh,
that
yeah.
anyone can do is, well, impose the law. And the law only prohibits the NFL from playing on Friday nights at the same time as high school or college football.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's I found that out just the other day. There's actual law that says you can't. Now the NFL tickles that law, and like they had on Black Friday, they had games earlier in the day. They weren't allowed to have them at night. And I don't know if it's just high school or if it's both college and high school. I think the law is intended to protect high school football. But yeah, that's the only zone where an actual law exists. And I don't think there should be any laws, period.
Yeah. Wow. Look at you. You actually hit it.
Have it be available whenever it's available. Doesn't matter. But play the games whenever you want. Let competition sort it all out. Is that really polite? No. The NFL should make an effort to not hurt their feeder league, and the feeder league's feeder league, talking about college and high school.
Yes, absolutely.
Know better that your ratings ain't going to be great in Texas if you do that on the wrong time and the wrong day.
Oh, absolutely.
But beyond that, as far as Christmas goes, have at it, Roger Goodell, because ain't nothing Adam Silver can do. You're never going to lose to the NBA. The NFL will always reign supreme. But I'll be honest, why not both? Why not both? Have a choice. A lot of people who might maybe not care about the matchup that's on, they'll switch over and watch their favorite NBA teams.
Yeah, hopefully. I think the best outcome from this can be that it encourages a little competition to where
it's going to dilute both.
Yeah, maybe
a little, but probably more dilution to the NBA than the NFL. The NFL probably have a standard audience.
Right. I think if you're the NBA, what you can do is put your best foot forward. You can have the Celtics play the Lakers. You can have the Knicks play, the whoever they play, the Indiana Pacers or something. You can have the Miami Heat play the Golden State Warriors and have Jimmy, have storylines versus really good teams. Put your best foot forward and save those matchups for Christmas Day. And the NFL can kind of test the waters, be like, all right, so if we have an obligation on Christmas Day, obviously this is not going to happen this year, but how far down the list of attractive games can we go before we start to lose ratings and lose viewership to the NBA? Can we go so far down as to put the Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars on Christmas Day and people will watch? Or do we need to, or can we go somewhere in the middle and kind of do like a Steelers and Browns game and we'll see if maybe we even out on viewership? Or do we need to put out like a high profile game that everybody will watch, a la the Cowboys and Eagles? What is the barometer of a game that we can make sure that we're taking away eyes and viewership from the NBA and their best foot as opposed to ours? It's interesting.
They're absolutely going to need, I don't know, the best matchups, period. For both sports, they will have to have the best matchups to even fight with each other. The stuff on Christmas better be the top teams at that time. So, you're going to be looking at AI, who schedules this stuff at the beginning of the season, or maybe get some voodoo witch doctors involved, because you've got to have the best matchups if you want to win those days. Otherwise, it's just going to lend itself to what people, if you're a football person, you're watching football. If it's a basketball person, you're watching basketball. But if you're going to lure somebody out, it's like, holy crap, this team is playing on the NBA. Oh my God, we have to see this. The football, same thing. Of course, then again, you have the fantasy football that pushes us all to most any game.
Right. And what you're actually competing for, Jeffrey, is you even have those people that'll stay home and watch what they're going to watch. You're absolutely correct in that. But what you're competing for is what traditionally has been the Thanksgiving debate of Thanksgiving, most people associate that with football. That victory is already won. But there are a few people that like have NBA households and they're kind of divided. They're like, they have an external debate. And so then it goes to the general consensus of like, hey guys, what do you want to have muted on in the background that we're all kind of checking in on? Do you want to have an NBA game that we can all kind of tune in on? Or do you want an NFL game? And that's where the discussion comes from. That's why you need to put your best foot forward. You're absolutely right, Jeffrey. NBA has the upper hand right now because they're entrenched, but NFL doesn't have much room to need to
Phil,
gather. Yeah.
The NBA does not have the upper hand. The minute the NFL pulls in, it's over. It's over for the NBA. Kiss the Cook says, I got my son's wish list right here. Okay. Number 1, trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo.
What's
My
his team?
fear is since LeBron is leaving the West, possibility of him playing with Luka, not good, people. Bring Embiid to Phoenix. We'll all learn French.
Ooh.
And besides, we need a big man.
Oh, that is a wish list that is infected. Oh, I don't know if I like that.
Well, which part of that, if you had to do one? I mean, you get Giannis.
Well, oh no, yeah, Giannis, that's totally fine. Yes, of course, everybody in the NBA wants Giannis. But
is it because he's French? You don't want Embiid?
It's
Too
not
much
because
foreigners?
he's French. No, I love their bread. They have great bread, whether it's toast or just regular bread. They have fantastic, and
Will
even
make
fries.
America great again, Phil? Is that what's going on? You don't want these damn foreigners coming in here taking our jobs?
That's not it. They sticker jibs. There's a throwback. No,
I just pushing Phil right into a MAGA hat.
Absolutely. No, Joel Embiid is, I think, currently, right? He has the high end potential and ceiling to be the best player in the league, obviously validated by his recent MVP. But because of his injuries and what they've robbed away from him, he currently, I think now, has what the Bradley Beal contract was like 2 years ago, the absolute worst contract in the NBA. And it's not even close.
888-368-1580. Swave Dave says, do you think the barometer for sports and viewership on Christmas Day is, can you compete with 24 hours of A Christmas Story?
That's interesting.
No, I mean, the more that, I mean, you see that, maybe you watch it, maybe you don't. I don't ever watch that.
There are certain ones that work, right? Like certain channels will do like 24 hours of Star Wars, like
I
the
don't
through line.
understand why people even bother. It's like, if I want to watch that, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to wait. And, if it's a family tradition, I'm not waiting for the 24-hour marathon so I can watch your damn commercials. I'm yanking out the Blu-ray or the DVD or playing it off of a streaming service as God intended. I don't need to see your boner pill commercials while I'm watching A Christmas Story.
Jeffrey, I think you're out of time and out of touch.
I got plenty of boner pills. I'm good.
Oh, you're flush. You're full of stock.
Amazon Pharmacy is amazing. T-Licious says, Kermit the Frog, Josh Allen, Macaulay Culkin, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Stafford, Purdy. I put Purdy at 7. Oh, so it's taken you 2 hours to come up with your top 7 list?
That is
delicious.
And also, I don't even think I can get Purdy at number 7. But even then, he's
well.
still...
Here, let me finish the list for you. Here,
okay,
he says
please.
then Goff, Sunshine, Tua, Herbert, Prescott, Love, Kyler Murray, Mayfield, Cousins. I think there's his complete top list.
I think Herbert and Mayfield are severely underrated in your current thing, especially with what Baker's proven over the past 2 years consistently. He's certainly elevated above his peers in a respectable manner. And then Herbert, you can put him down beyond like the top 4. I think when people have umbrage and say that that he's inappropriately rated is whenever he's like considered a top 3 or top 5 quarterback. But he's certainly Herbert is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy.
Well, at least T-Licious wasn't delusional. I think earlier you said your top 5. He doesn't crack your top 5.
Yeah, he cracks nobody's top 5 or even top 6. I think 7 is the absolute earliest.
All right, so you and T-Licious agree.
I think that's the earliest. I still wouldn't even have him there. I have him rated lower, but I think
he says I wasn't able to text Enil just now.
Fair enough.
So you seemed smarter when it seemed like you were very considerate and waited and were like doing your research. Now it just sounds like you had bad signal. Okay. So there we are. So Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Matt Stafford above Purdy.
Agreed.
Yeah. I think you probably should put Goff above Purdy. Who's Sunshine?
Trevor Lawrence.
Purdy's good right there at 8. I think 8 is where I would put Purdy on your list.
Also, I mean, we'd have to see, but Dak Prescott prior to the injury was above him.
I would no, I'm not going to mess with that. But Herbert, I feel like should be at 9. I think like Herbert's probably better than Tua and Trevor Lawrence.
Jeffrey, I mean, Justin Herbert, if the Chargers were to call up and say, hey, Purdy for Justin Herbert, capital implications aside, just straight up trade, there's no, the 49ers would be the one to say, please, yes, give me, what else do you want? It's not even a fair comparison. Justin Herbert underachieving.
No, I have Purdy ahead of Herbert.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying, and I have Herbert, I would have Herbert ahead of Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I would have Herbert in front of Purdy. Is that what you're saying? I need to confirm this.
No, I have Herbert exactly just right behind Purdy.
Yeah, Jeffrey, see that?
I'd have him behind Goff.
That's where we can have a discussion. But no, Herbert unequivocally is in front of Brock Purdy. Whether or not we're talking tangible, intangibles, no matter what it is, Justin Herbert is incredibly talented. And
no, I didn't say he wasn't good. I didn't say he wasn't good. Still top 10, you know.
Absolutely.
Jaden Daniels. Oh yeah, don't forget
Jaden Daniels. Yes, absolutely. I would personally take him over. And I still, maybe I'm just recency bias, I would take Caleb Williams over Brock Purdy. And I know.
No, you're just trying to start fights.
I'm sorry.
You're just trying to hot take. Come on, Acho. Come on.
I'm telling you, I look at his draft pedigree. Maybe I'm holding that to too much of a degree, but the first overall pick versus Mr. Irrelevant, I'm sorry. I'm still going to lean Caleb.
No.
I'm playing.
Let me get the text line cleaned up. We're late for a break. Random texter says, Christmas story, nothing. These sporting events are competing against burning Yule log. Come on, Jeffrey. I do the burning fireplace thing on my big screen TV when we do our presents. I do that. But then after that, it's all sports for the rest of the day. Bruno Baller says, I don't watch it, but I come across the Twilight Zone marathon at least once a year. That sounds like fun. Boy, yeah, it'd be great to go watch some of those old episodes again. Lost Toby says Giannis will end up going to the Warriors. More than likely. I think you're right.
Wow, that would be incredible.
Yeah, it ain't fair. That ain't fair. Slave Dave says the thing about A Christmas Story is many people will just have it as backdrop for kids or whoever and not pay attention to anything else. You think today's kids give rat's ass about Ralphie and whether he gets his BB gun or not?
Can I make an ashamed admission? I've never seen it. I've seen the tongue skit onto the pole. That's it.
You should watch it.
It's on the list. I still have not seen it.
Don't watch it on TV.
No.
Get a clean copy.
Absolutely.
T-Licious says opinions are like a-holes. Everyone has one. Phil going full Phil is expected during any discussion. I like how he connected that saying to Phil. Yeah, well, T-Licious, me and Phil agree. So what are you going to do? Bruno Baller says it's too bad on barbecue day that we can't have Randy on live giving us barbecue tips and weather reports.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's my fault for telling him.
Yeah, that's a surprise on the show one. That's an unexpected one. Then you can have good sage advice.
We were just having a nice conversation. Next thing you know, he's gone.
Yeah, never do the show before
lighting
the show,
every grill he owns. So anyway, let's take a break. When we come back, other assorted things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Listen to our live stream on your phone at 1580thefanatic.com.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
It's back. The third annual Fire and Fairways Charity Golf Tournament presented by Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. It's Monday, June 2nd at Biltmore Golf Club. This year supporting Alice Cooper Solid Rock Teen Centers. Early entry is just $175 and includes goodie bag, raffle tickets, plus a fabulous after golf celebration, lunch buffet, and drinks at Kasai Japanese Steakhouse in Scottsdale. You don't golf? Well, then join us at the celebration for just $75. Sign up today. Go to KasaiFireandFairways.com. That's KasaiFireandFairways.com.
Not another one.
26-year-old male wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. These tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com. Your home for sports.
Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Chosen One says, did my text come through? Yeah, I read your text earlier where you said the possible question of the day, smoked, grilled, or oven cooking for a rack of ribs. We said, of course, smoked first, grilled second, and oven third. I mean, do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. We specialize in insults on this show.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know if there's a show in Phoenix that has more insults per minute than the Daily Blender.
I'd say we'd certainly lead the league in average. That's for sure.
Without a doubt, I think that the insults fly on this show more than any place else. So, when it comes to insults, I know a good insult when I see one. And Larsa Pippen, who said that dating Malik Beasley was a mistake, and she said, I had COVID brain.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. You're blaming it on a medical condition. That is hilarious.
She's like, oh, I was all foggy. She said, I had COVID. I was stuck in my house. I hadn't gone anywhere. There he was. He was just like on me. Which I'm sure your kids love hearing that.
Absolutely.
I just love that. That's the only thing I wanted to share was just that was a stellar insult. She might actually mean it though. She might mean that because as an excuse for ending up with this guy, Malik Beasley. I had COVID brain. Man, if somebody said that about like that's why I think I'd be hurt. I feel like I'd be a little hurt.
Well, that is not a compliment. I mean, like what is the complimentary version of that? Oh, I had COVID brain. Oh, okay. So that's why you got 2 cheeseburgers instead of 1 at the drive-thru. Thank you, honey. Like that's the furthest you can go. Outside of that, it is saying that you made a mistake.
Yeah, there's no way around it. Malik Beasley just sitting there going, what the hell, man? Was it so bad? I guess so. But she's a hot mess. She's 50 years old and she's dating 28-year-old Malik. Breaks up with him a little later, and then he goes back to the gal he cheated on with Pippen. This gal named Montana Yao, And then he and she gets together. Remember, she was with Scottie Pippen's son, and they were all thinking about getting married and stuff. And then they had this whole thing, and then they were on the same team. The whole thing was kind of crazy. I don't know, what is it about Larsa Pippen? Larsa thinks, she's like, oh, I'm just independent and fun. And I'm like, you know what? How is she able to, what is the allure? I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody, I don't get it. Swave Dave says, instead of a Yule log guarding, imagine at Randy's house, he has a video constantly playing of his smoker with a puff of smoke. No, he doesn't need that because it's right there on the patio. Hey, Phil, have you been to Randy's house?
I have not. No.
He's got a big old round table on the back patio that you sit at. And from this vantage point, you can see every grill that he owns. So
how many are we talking? Are we talking double digits?
No, I think he's up to 4.
Okay,
5?
but still, that's more than the average, certainly.
Oh, yeah, most people got 1. So, Moist One says, I think I'm going to have Chicken Palooza tonight. Panda Express and some Raising Cane's. You madman. I've never heard of somebody mixing Panda Express with Raising Cane's.
But it might be so crazy, it could work, Jeffrey.
Panda Express is kind of salty. A little bit salty. I like it. I do like Panda Express.
Panda Express is, I have not gone back in a while, and it's because I take a hiatus every once in a while from certain fast food restaurants, as you try to do. You try your best to be a good boy. But I did go back one time, and I came back, and it was sugary. Like I felt like
sometimes they will add a little more sugar to their stuff to get people to go, tasty.
Yeah. And I thought, it's one thing if it's a little sugary on the orange chicken, that kind of, I have more of a forgiveness for it. But when I was getting sugar out of the beef and broccoli, that's where I had to step back and say, you know what? Maybe this is too much. Maybe this is just not the right route for me.
I haven't had it in a while, so I don't know. I can't really speak to that. Oreos.
Yes. Let's dunk into that topic.
You gotta love Oreos.
Oh yeah, double stuffed every time, right? Double stuffed is the new standard.
Well, the wife because I'm trying to lose weight, so now all of a sudden there's no Oreos in the house.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Jeffrey.
But I'm about to work an angle.
Okay.
And I want to share this angle. You all can work this angle too, whether you're trying to convince yourself or somebody else.
Okay.
Most varieties of Oreos are vegan.
That is true. I knew this.
Including classic, double stuff, mega stuff, golden, and thins. They don't have milk. They don't have eggs. No animal products. I don't even want to know how they make that stuff now. I always assume some milk might have been used, but I guess not. So you can say, but honey, it's a vegan treat.
It's a vegan treat. I didn't know this. I had a vegetarian friend and vegan friend who did enjoy many Oreos on that.
Was this person exhausting?
You know what? They weren't that high energy once he got past the lunch.
No, I didn't. I didn't say, was this person exhausted? I said, was this person exhausting?
Yeah. Once the organic soybean coffee of the morning wore off, yes, it did.
No, I mean, they were a very tiresome person.
Yes, I agree. Yes. Once they were down, see, that's the thing about exhausting people is that usually, depending, there's an end to that social battery, and once they reach it, then they themselves become exhausted, and so they're exerting that until they have to recharge.
Remember when Caitlin Clark entered into the WNBA, and then everybody's like, "Oh my God, that poor girl, she's getting beat up," and it's like, "Oh, well, it's just a little bit of rookie hazing, ain't nothing weird. She was fine." She's like, "No, it's cool." But everybody's like, oh, it's racism. No, it wasn't racism. She was a rookie, and that's all there is to it. Everybody just calm down. And Caitlin Clark was one of the people who said, calm down. No, it's fine, And but I'll tell you what, she decided that getting pushed around wasn't that much fun. So what has she done in the off season?
Bulked up.
Hell yes, she bulked up. Look at that. Look at that. Look
at the guns on Caitlin Clark.
She's scary.
She brought some ammunition to the gun show.
She is scary. And in fact, she was you don't think about it. She goes in to see the equipment manager, and she thought she was like, "Did you give me a jersey that's too small?" And the equipment manager's like, "No, it's the same size. You're just filling that thing out."
Well, keep in mind, Caitlin Clark heading into last season for the WNBA just went on an unbelievable streak of playing basketball. She went directly from being in the final in the collegiate championship into almost directly into the WNBA and playing an entire season there. Now, granted, it's not the entire length of an NBA season where it's 86 games. It's to a lesser extent. I forget what the exact total is, but still had nonstop basketball for pretty much the entirety of a calendar year, and also and did a NBA Olympic tryout. Had that as well. So she played like almost nonstop basketball, and with all that cardio and leaning out that an NBA usually does. As you know, with NBA athletes, they usually round up and bulk up in the offseason because that's when they have the time to actually dedicate to it and kind of take a load off and just work on other things and fill out their game, fill on practicing, but not have to work on the cardio aspect as much. So it makes sense that this is finally the first opportunity she's had and has taken full advantage of it to fill out.
Nobody's going to be pushing her around.
No.
She has bulked up. I haven't seen her legs, but her upper torso is all business right now, man. Also on the Fever, there's another player by the name of Sophie Cunningham, and this might be unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
She, hey, so Sophie, tell us about yourself. She's like, oh, okay, and like Harris likes to say, fun fact. Like,
you hear?
But she says, my favorite actor is Will Ferrell.
Okay.
My favorite TV series is Gossip Girl. Okay.
Okay.
And I like ranch on my spaghetti.
No.
Does that mean like spaghetti with the red sauce, but you also drizzle ranch? Or is it just spaghetti noodles in ranch dressing?
Those are the precise questions that arise from that statement that I don't want to know any of the answers to, but like they beg the question. I don't want to know. Does it then become the sauce? Is it used in addition to the red sauce? Is it now? Are you somehow freeze drying the noodles and then making those ranch noodles? It's disgusting. It's abominable.
Moislin says she played for the Mercury last year. She can put whatever she wants in her mouth and it'll still be attractive.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever, Moislin. You can be thirsty all you want, but I need some answers on this because the word abomination just keeps coming into my brain.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely outrageous.
But then again, maybe I should try it.
No, stop it. Don't go down the ranch path.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship. Jonathan Vegas won't let a double bogey at 18 ruin his day. He is leading near the end of the second round at Quail Hollow, 8 under par. Now, Vegas has been on the PGA Tour for a decade and a half, but he has never been in this position before.
So easy to get caught up into, you're leading, you just got to enjoy the process, man. We got a long 36 holes ahead, a lot of golf. So, you just got to take it one shot at a time and enjoy the moment. And whatever happens. But I'm definitely going to try my best to bring it home.
Siwoo Kim, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Matthew Pavon, 6 under, 2 back of Vegas. The PGA champion Xander Schauffele makes the cut on the number at 1 over. It's now 64 consecutive made cuts for Schauffele, the longest active streak on tour. Hideki Matsuyama had the longest active cut streak at majors, 19. It ends with Matsuyama at +3. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number Everything Smart Bed sale. Every smart bed and base are on sale during our Memorial Day event. Up to 50% off, plus free home delivery. Limited time. Exclusively to Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com, sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Not another one.
26-year-old male, wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. You know, these tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside not Randy White. We got Phil to fill in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And at first, I was thinking abomination when it comes to Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA saying she likes ranch on her spaghetti. Then I remember something. I always say, you got to try it. You got to try it. How do you know if you don't try it? And so I am committed to always trying it. And now here's the way it works, Phil. I know you got this. I've just smelled a fart face on this. Do you like ranch dressing?
No, I'm not.
Well, see, then you're excluded. You're excused. If you like ranch dressing and I like to dip some pizza in some ranch dressing every now and then. Not all the time, but every now and then. And I like red sauce combined with the ranch dressing. So I've never had ranch on spaghetti and meatballs. I've never had ranch in just the noodles. So I can't really say nay to this. I got to try it. Here's the thing. Here's the concept, Phil.
Okay.
I use this as the example. I took some mayonnaise and peanut butter and mixed them together.
Oh, okay.
And I tasted it.
Yeah.
And at first you're thinking, oh, dear God, why? But until you taste it, how do you know? Now, I tasted it and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. I used to have ham and cheese and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all mixed together. Like that.
Really?
With the mayonnaise. Yeah.
Oh, with
mayonnaise and peanut butter together are good. So if you don't like mayonnaise, you're excused. If you don't like peanut butter, you're excused. But I'm saying, don't knock it till you try it. You can try it like a teeny little piece and go, that's good, or no, thank you.
It feels more along the lines of Forbidden Valley than I'd like to put my toe into. Like it feels wrong.
That's okay. That's up to you. But you can't live your life scared, because if you do, nobody would have ever invented peanut butter and jelly. That's not the first thing you think if you think about peanut butter
or
and jelly.
Yeah, that's true.
So I encourage everyone, hey, don't knock it till you try it. Now, like I said, if you don't like one of the ingredients already, yeah, you're excused because you're not going to like it. You're probably more than likely not going to like it. So now I'm curious about this ranch on spaghetti. And you know what? I probably have had that. You know how? You got a plate, right? You got a plate with some lasagna or spaghetti. Then you put a little salad on the plate.
I see where you're going. Yeah.
A little ranch dressing in the plate.
Yeah.
Probably have already tasted this. I just don't remember for sure.
And plus it was so small of a quantity that you're like, you enjoyed whatever was the overwhelming flavor, and you didn't get the full mix.
Mm-hmm. So Lost Toby says, blue cheese is superior to ranch. Ew. I mean, maybe for you, not. I don't like blue cheese. Something's wrong with blue cheese. Those crumbles. Don't care for it. Do not care for it. All I'm saying is free your mind, Phil,
and the rest will follow.
Open your horizons, and try something. Try something new. You might surprise yourself. Moist one says, when I was a kid, I dipped wavy Lays into Pepsi. I can be a freak too, Sophie.
You know what? When I was a kid, I tried because I was like, you know what? I like this and I like that. In regards to apple juice and milk. And you know what I found? I did not like that.
You mixed apple juice and milk?
Again, the kid logic in me was like, you know what? I like apple juice and I like milk. It just as much as the adventurous experience was like, well, at some point, whenever you first try out peanut butter and jelly, you're like, huh, okay, this does like, it does take a leap of faith to some degree.
Sure.
And then once you do, you're like, oh, so I was like, why not try this out? And I did. It was absolutely disgusting. Revolting.
Right. Well, then you put a little check mark as the food scientist you are and go on to the next experiment. Sure. I commend you for giving it a shot, but just because you didn't like it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep trying other things.
You're right. I mean, and every once in a while there's stuff that works out, right? Like you try apple juice orange juice and milk that actually works out a little bit better because it tastes more of like a creamsicle. So there's something. I've never tried that. Yeah, there's something. It becomes smooth. It smooths out.
That give me a stomach ache.
Yeah, it's not. You only add a splash. Make it
which?
A
splash of milk or a splash of orange juice?
Splash of milk, because then it acts as the creamer to your
Phil's always about the creamer.
Oh.
Nurse Scratchit says, where I grew up back east, ranch dressing on pasta, that'd be a mortal sin. Ask the Pope. Yeah, we should probably get a call on that. We should probably get a judgment call on that from El Pope. Sports Girly says, I got Phil to try salmon nuggets, and that was the most daring we are going to see from Phil. He will auto cannibalize before he eats anything with mayonnaise.
Oh my God, that's so true. Yeah, Jeffrey, she all of a sudden comes one day, and I can't tell you how much it rocked my world because
by the way, everybody, Sports Girly is Phil's girlfriend.
Oh, yes, I should. Yes.
Texting in.
Yes, thank you. She came home one day, and all of a sudden I open up the freezer and I say, hey, are these nuggets, are they open to anybody? Can I have a few? And she's like, nuggets? Oh, you mean the salmon nuggets? I was like, no, the nuggets. She's like, yes, salmon nuggets. My mind was blown. I had no idea that they did that. I was like, thank God.
Is this like code for testicles?
No,
like salmon testicles.
No, I forget where she got them from, but
literally like chicken nuggets, but made out of salmon.
Yeah, even have like the little horseshoe shape, have the round shape.
Sports Girly, where the hell do you get those?
I don't know if she got them from Sam's Club. I don't know if she got them from Fry's, but so I tried one, and you know what? It didn't taste bad. I don't know that it tasted stellar, but it was fine. But I was so shaken up by just it's a notion that I would have never conceived. So I every time I go there, it blows my mind. Where I'm saying, should I get you ketchup for these? I don't know what you like. Do I get you? I don't know what. It's so odd. Salmon nuggets.
I am intrigued.
Yes.
By the salmon nuggets.
As was I.
Commando Duke says, "Is this a cooking show? I'm just waiting here to hear Emeril Lagasse to come out and say, bam."
It can be.
It's whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
Number one Rattler fan says, Paris, again, you're knocking it out of the ballpark. Keep up the good work.
I think we were talking about French food.
I think you meant Harris.
Oh.
Yeah. Harris will be back next Monday. 888-368-1580. So let's check in with the PGA Championship. I know we keep hearing the updates from Estwood One.
They can't call it Westwood One until somebody wins, Jeffrey.
No, it's just because they keep sending down the audio clip. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
They're putting some respect on it until somebody gets the dub. And then,
anyways, right now, as it stands, are they done golfing? By the way, are they still out there golfing?
I think they're.
By the way, where the hell are they golfing? Where is this taking place?
I have.
At Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh, my mom could walk over and take a look at this.
There we go.
Anyway, last year, Xander Schauffele, my guy, because remember, my guys are always, I get Scheffler and Schauffele. They are permanently my picks on any time we do golfing. Everybody else gets the rest of the field. But right now in first place, 8 under par, Jahaton Vegas. This dude has an awesome name, Jahaton Vegas. I mean, I don't know golf, so I don't.
I mean, that's the number one question you get asked whenever you go in the summer to Nevada. People are like, Jahaton Vegas? No.
Is it Jahaton or is it just Honiton?
It's German, so it's probably the silent J.
That dude is Venezuelan.
Oh, that's the Venezuelan flag. See, they put the flags next to it, and a brief overlook, I thought it was German.
But right behind Vegas is Kim, 6 under par. Matthew Pavon, who I think is French, is 6 under par. Matt Fitzpatrick, also 6 under par. The first American is 5 under par, along with Scotty Scheffler, is Max Homa. Homa.
And did you see Siwoo Kim? Or sorry, Siwoo Kim got a hole in one.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he was running down the fairway, just like, yeah, baby. Which I don't.
Yeah, but if I'm Vegas, I'm like, I didn't need a hole in one.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
So the cut line, wow, yeah, right there on the cut line, on the wrong side of it, Jordan Spieth. Let's see, anybody else of note? Yeah, you might want to look because I don't know who. I'm not into golfing. I'm just. I mean, this is kind of sad though. If you're Jordan Spieth and you're like, dude, Sergio Garcia made the cut. Jordan Spieth, you're like, oh, that's great. That's nice. Okay. But yeah, how about Sergio Garcia +1 right now? Let's see. People of note. I don't know him. I don't know any of these people.
Oh, it sounds like you're seeing
Shane Lowry. I feel like or is that just because I like Lowry seasoning salt?
I'm pretty sure it's the second one.
Oh, Justin Thomas. That's it. Patrick Fishburne, Lawrence's brother. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know anything about golf. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, you guys know that I don't know anything about golf.
Yeah, I think it's evident that you and I do not bring up the golf games knowledge here on the Blender because we don't have much of ourselves.
Woo! Look at that. There's a guy by the name of Elvis who made the cut. He's the last person made the cut from Australia. Elvis Smiley. They're just making this stuff up, right? That's not real. You got to do it Smiley. That's just disturbing. Don't ever do that again.
Sorry.
Anyway, so yeah, listen, this is why you listen to the updates and not us. Don't know anything about the golf. All I know is Scheffler and Scheffel, and that's it. Commando Duke says, why does Phil's girlfriend text in? And I haven't heard Triple H's girlfriend text in yet.
I don't. Well, Philip's girlfriend is now we're looking at coming up on years of a relationship, as opposed to Harris. If I'm not mistaken, this is still
Kinda
somewhat
new.
fresh. Yeah,
Kind of new. He seems pretty serious about her though.
Yeah, but Harris's dad texts in, right? Am I?
Yeah, Harris's dad does text in and probably scares off Harris's girlfriend.
Yeah, because it's kind of like meeting the family, where both are entering the table of Harris's workplace, and then you don't want to impose. Yeah,
Harris's dad has said some pretty funny and questionable things to the show.
That's funny.
So far, the best is the one where he's there with a gal who's not his wife, but in a good bikini, and that has given Harris a headache, I think.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Harris is right on that edge where you don't you are beginning to see your parents as adults, but not quite enough there where you're comfortable with that.
Sports Girlie says you can find the salmon nuggets at Sam's Club. Good, very good. Don't use ketchup; they go good with ranch.
Ugh.
Oh, so you don't like ranch either? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like ranch, but she's fine with them.
Lost Elby says, "Let me tell you something right now. The only thing I'm mixing is liquor, mayo, and peanut butter. It sounds blasphemous.
I've heard I've heard rave reviews about peanut butter and liquor. Peanut butter liquor, pretty good.
You know what? If you like whiskey, why add peanut butter to it? Just drink the whiskey." Moist One says, "My cut line is all over the place. I think my dog had Parkinson's." 2863 says, "Why does this Phil guy speak in the first person? Is he that full of himself?" Well, We all speak in the first person. You mean third person? Did you speak in the third person?
I don't think I spoke in that.
You need to count your people, 2863.
You know what Philip thinks? Philip thinks you're full of it.
Now he's speaking in the third person there. Let's speak of the hockey real fast.
Okay.
So Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers are now locked in epic battle. The Florida Panthers are up a game over the Toronto Maple Leafs, and I don't have any care in the world about Florida Panthers. Not a fan of Florida.
Well, besides the fact that they are the defending champion.
Don't care.
Still okay. I didn't know if
I don't like Florida, but right now it's 0-0. They just went into the first period on this one. So yeah, I listen, I don't want Canadians in there. You know, they booed us this year. Now I know why they booed us, and that's all fine and good. But listen, don't boo us. Don't boo our hockey players. Don't boo our anthem. You can boo the things you're mad at, but guess what? Of all the above, none of that is relevant. So at this point, and I look at the playoff bracket, I'm just like, okay, fine. There's already some Canadians there. We don't need any more.
Well, also keep in mind that just because the team's located in Canada doesn't mean that the team is contrived of Canadians. So, I mean...
Oh, Phil. Most of the league is Canadian.
Well, most of the league is, yes. But, I mean,
which is also weird. You're booing the national anthem, and the player is like, I don't know how I should feel about this.
Yeah.
I'm
employed in America. Yeah.
But
does it do anything to you that the Capitals got eliminated here with Ovechkin?
I was sad about that. I mean,
yeah,
great season for Ovechkin, and it would have been a great story. And honestly, shocked that they went out 4-1 like that.
Hurricanes really came.
I can see them going out in a 6 or 7 game, but not in 5.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, I mean, Ovechkin also had a pretty noteworthy playoff series as well. I believe he was tied for second for at his age the most points, or sorry, not most points, most pucks scored at his age in the playoffs at that time. So I mean, still highly productive. Going to come back next year and still get after it. But yeah, no, Hurricanes put a whooping on the Capitals.
Yeah, the Hurricanes, it says Moist One, suffocate teams. Okay. So I guess now it's down to find out, will it be the Panthers or the Maple Leafs? And, kind of want it to be the Panthers. I don't want it to be Canadians. But I'll be honest, I really don't like Florida. Which do I not like more? Florida or Canada right now?
It's hard. I think you got to go Florida because the fact that they chose Panthers is just an odd choice all the time.
Yeah, there's just a lot of that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, let's see. Tomorrow, you got the Jets and the Stars playing. They're locked 3-2 right now as well. Dallas is in the lead on that, and whoever wins that gets to go play more Canadians.
Yeah, the Edmonton Oilers with the best player in the NHL right now, Connor McDavid.
Man, I just don't want to see. I don't want the Canadians to win this.
Well, you got about what? We have one. Where are the Hurricanes from?
The Hurricanes are from Carolina.
Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's going to be boiled down to 1. Yeah, so you've got about a 1 in 4 chance of it not being Canadian.
Yeah. Are the Oilers better than everybody else? Are the Hurricanes better than everyone else? Are the Maple Leafs better than everyone else?
The Oilers are like the Denver Nuggets of the NHL, where the team around them's all right. You know, it's not tremendous, but they have the best player.
Team hasn't won the Stanley Cup since the 90s. So I want to keep the streak going for America.
For the sake of America.
America.
Maybe the Jets can do it. Who knows?
Although it's like hard to root for the Panthers. By the way, the NHL suspended one of the minority owners of the Panthers, this Doug Sifu, after he got into it on the Twitter with somebody.
Always a mistake. Never punch down, guys.
I don't know if he's punching down.
If you're the owner
of
a
minority owner, so
if you're an owner at any degree, just you automatically, if you have a voice in the room to at least be like, hey guys, can we not raise the prices of hot dogs? You are punching down than the guy who has to pay whatever price he said for the hot dog.
Sports Girlie says, well, when we annex Canada, it'll be American win. Just hang in there, Jeffrey. I don't think that's a good idea either. I don't like it that they're booing our anthem, but I'm really not for all that nonsense. Bruno Baller says Montreal Canadiens won the Stanley Cup in 1993. Yes, that was the last time Canada won the cup. I'm sure they'd like to see their beloved Maple Leafs finally win. I'm sure they would, but I don't want that. Don't want it. Don't want the Maple Leafs. Don't want the Oilers. Don't want it. Doesn't matter what I want, though. It's all down to whoever wins, I guess. We got more to talk about when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
The Daily Blender is streamed live on YouTube. Search 1580 The Fanatic to watch.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. Some history on the 6th hole late this afternoon at Quail Hollow.
Siwoo Kim is on the tees, 3 under par, this 252-yard par 3. This is on a really good line. It's going to land on the front portion of the green. It's rolling back towards the hole on a good line. He's made it. Siwoo Kim with an ace. He's running after it down the fairway. And Siwoo now is 5 under par.
Taylor Zarzour the call on Sirius XM. It's the longest ace ever at a major championship, 252 yards. Kim dropped it in with a 5-wood. He's tied for second entering the weekend, 6 under par. Jonathan Vegas leads at 8 under. Scotty Scheffler 5 under, 3 back. Rory McIlroy makes the cut on the number at +1. I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
The golf industry needs all kinds of talented people. It's full of job opportunities and career paths, both on and off the course. With golf, the possibilities are endless. Explore careers and open job opportunities today at makegolfyourcareer.org.
Furnished by the PGA.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-298-9532. 800-298-9532. Again, that's 800-298-9532.
It's the bone-crushing hits. The searing sounds of training camp. Come on, knock your ass back. All gas, no brakes. Let's go. Soon, the new recruits will show up for minicamp. And then, it's down to business in training camp. When it comes to the NFL, we talk about it. We're 1580 The Fanatic and always on at 1580thefanatic.com. Your home for the NFL.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Boss Toby says, sounds like Phil has the palate of a 5-year-old. Many people who have come through these doors does.
You know, it's not just that. It's specifically sauces. I do not have like an enjoyment for. Like I have stories galore of my mom going darn near daily through the Walmart salad dressing aisle and going up and down, trying to get every which way for me to enjoy a salad dressing. And every single one we tried, I would not enjoy. I would
What
not
about,
like.
like Italian. I mean, that's not like saucy. That's more of a
creamy.
No, not creamy Italian, just regular Italian.
Oh, it's also I'll eat a salad, but yeah, no, I think no, there are things I go out and enjoy. I'm usually pretty good on meat. Like if it's I've had what have I had? Lamb. I've had duck. I've had calamari.
Duck is a little bit greasy.
It is. It's
calamari was good once, and then after that, it all feels like those little crazy wall walkers you had when you were a kid. Those little rubber things.
Yeah. So I will go out of my comfort zone every once in a while, but it's not quite just Dino Nuggies, and that's exclusively it. But I will admit it's probably closer to that than I'd like to enjoy.
Every man on this planet, every man listening right now, if we are left unsupervised, if you go to any grocery store and there's a guy just out there, a single guy, or just on his own, like when my wife is out of town, everything that I buy, everything I eat, it's basically what a fifth grader would have.
Oh,
What you would expect a fifth grader to put together for their meals. The grown-up Lunchables. That's me all damn day long.
Oh yeah, even like cheese. I think I've become more of if left to my own devices, I would be a cheese-based enjoyer. Like everything would have a source of cheese. Oh, I love cheese.
Grand Mariner says, "Why do they pipe in all those chirping birds? The PGA Championship sounds so fake. I mean, we get it. You want us to believe there's actually birds in the golf course. We all know the truth. All the birds are dead."
That's what Alfred Hitchcock's movie was all about.
So, yeah, I hate fake. And
just in general?
Yes, in general. So here's the thing. We're watching, I can't remember what it was. We were watching, what it was? At first, my wife and I were enjoying John Mulaney's little talk show thing he was doing on Netflix.
Oh,
at
yeah.
first.
Yeah, yes. The original season, yes, was very good.
And then now, so we try to watch it, and I'm just kind of like, when's it going to get funny? And fake laughter had been piped in. You can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
The TV listening audience pipe in like, yes.
So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, we're done here. I don't have any desire to watch anymore. And he was onto something, and he immediately lost the plot. So, what are you watching there, Phil?
The Celtics and Knicks game is now on, and it has begun. And currently, the Knicks are in the lead.
Yeah. And as far as the hockey goes, it's still in the first, nothing.
Yeah,
0-0,
which is standard for a hockey game.
Yeah. I mean, man, what's your opinion? Do you want the Knicks to win, or do you want the Celtics to come back and make it happen without Jason Tatum?
No, I have no desire. See, everybody wants the Cinderella story. Everybody wants the plucky underdog to win until they don't, right? Because like, what are the ramifications? What happens in the aftermath of the Boston Celtics winning? We have to endure it, bare minimum, a 4-game series of a shellacking of the Indiana Pacers over the Boston Celtics. And I don't want to see that. Like, as fun as it might be to say, like, oh, wow, I'd really like to see them achieve this. It's not for the championship. It's not for the end all be all. It wouldn't be exciting because now you have one more round of them just completely taking their medicine by a fully prepped, fully rested Indiana Pacers squad that will just absolutely wipe the floor with them. So no, I want the New York Knicks to have so that way I can enjoy the next series. And also, how rare is it to have like just a rough and tumble, everybody rooting for you, Cinderella story out of New York for a team. Like, it's so rare. The Yankees do not hold this. Even the Mets are annoying, and so they don't deserve it. Very rarely are the Brooklyn Nets any good. To have the New York Knicks actually be entertaining and like a rootable, enjoyable franchise, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been more than a minute for that. So
yeah.
888-368-1580. Big George says, I like good avocado lime ranch salad dressing from Chick-fil-A. Okay.
Yeah.
Good, George.
Chick-fil-A does good stuff.
We're moving on from the sauces. Just the Tip says, in any of the 4 major sports, I don't think there's a team that has continuously, with laser focus, choked more than the Maple Leafs. I don't mind that.
Yeah, I think in the NBA, you usually associate that with either coaches, a la Doc Rivers, or players, a la James Harden. But as far as teams specifically, the Dodgers, had you asked before last season, they would have been associated with that because they continuously went into the postseason with like the best record, or at least winning their division, and year after year getting into the playoffs and then just choking in devastating fashion. But
in that little paragraph of yours, there's so much Allah. I thought maybe I was at a mosque.
Or maybe a la carte.
Kiss the Cook says, not only are the golf nature sounds canned, so are the crowd noises. No, really?
How does one can like little soft golf claps? Do they just get a bunch
like
of
that?
us?
Just record it and play it back later. By the way, Quail Hollow is not everybody's favorite. In fact, there's this guy used to play pro, Hunter Mahan, and
I heard this.
They said, what do you think of Quail Hollow? And he said, well, I guess I'd say Quail Hollow is like a Kardashian. Very modern, beautiful, and well kept, but it lacks soul or character. Damn.
That is so cool.
Just sort of stray fire from a guy I've never heard of. Just taking a shot at some Kardashians.
My goodness. And you know what? I can get why the reason why they're popular is because everybody has a definitive opinion on them. You either hate them or you love them. I would say I'm more so like it's kind of unfair, like how much hate that they get. Kim is like a lawyer now, which how whatever. I understand. Like people are like, is she like a real lawyer? Maybe not, but like at least the causes that she's going for and lawyering up as, I think that's admirable. I think that's a good deed done unto her common man.
Let's focus some hate.
Okay. I'm all here for it.
Gonna show you a picture that should help you focus some hate.
All right, I'm ready. I put on the goggles.
That is Christian Bale.
Oh,
and Nicolas Cage
Yes.
as John Madden. So that's Christian Bale as Al Davis, which, by the way, with the makeup and the hair done the way it is, damn good. Christian Bale, world-class actor, and he is pulling off an Al Davis. You wouldn't expect it, but damn if he's not doing it. Nicolas Cage, not so much with John Madden.
Yeah, they're probably going for more of capturing the essence of John Madden rather than
I wish I could close in on this. You could see this better, but it just keeps being blurry on me.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, and then I saw some later pictures. This is supposed to be early John Madden. Then I saw some pictures of Nicolas Cage's later John Madden, and they had him in a fat suit. They had him in prosthetics.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is going to work. This is not going to be good.
Well, I don't know. Nicolas Cage, whenever he turns it on and he's not just taking roles just for the funds of it, then he can get lost in a role. But Christian Bale, you're absolutely right. If anybody can just absolutely just dissolve into whatever role they're playing, it's Christian Bale. Christian Bale goes up and down in weight class. He goes up and down into accents. He is all over the place. And such a tremendous
Al Davis down.
Oh, he's the quarterback.
Al Davis was
down.
one ugly man, by the way. With a mouth like it was like a condemned neighborhood in his mouth.
Yeah,
that's how bad his teeth were.
Well, but Jeffrey, remember, he was born with a cigarette in his mouth. Some people, like in his position, were born with a silver spoon. He didn't have that, but he was born with a cigarette in his mouth and a punch card, certainly.
But this is a movie that's being directed by David O. Russell. I don't know where a Prime Video. I guess this is going to be on Amazon Prime. So this is not going to be released to theaters. This is going to be so bad.
Hold on, Jeffrey. I still think, even if it is bad, I still think it has the potential to be the
bad
best.
Is good.
Maybe no. I wasn't going to go there. I'm going to say has the potential to be the best pro football film of all time because we have good high school ones. Friday Night Lights, right?
Hell, are you talking about?
We have good college football.
Any given Sunday, draft day.
Draft day's not
the last
good.
Boy Scout.
Draft day's not good.
Was it running down and he pulls out a gun and shoots a guy so he can get into the end zone. I think it was Jamie Foxx.
I think maybe the best one would be like The Replacements. I think probably with Keanu Reeves. Maybe.
Yeah, but it's not going to be this. Are you high?
I'm saying it could be.
I have to ask if you're high quite a bit. We might need to start drug testing you.
Well, it wouldn't be that random for me, would it be? It would be every day I come in and have to pee in a cup.
I never said the word random.
Okay, there we go. Nicolas Cage, I'm telling you, he's come back in a career resurgence. I don't know if you saw the Oh my God, he did a movie where he's playing Nicolas Cage. Fantastic. Oh, you gotta love
No,
that.
I'm sure
performance.
that's funny. I'm sure that's good. And I like Nicolas Cage, but this, no.
This is a movie, though. This is a movie that you can tell directly from the trailer on how well it will be.
Have you seen the trailer? There's no trailer yet.
No, I'm saying that we will know based off the trailer whether or not this was worth it.
No, that's
or
fair.
whether it was
And the way they do things these days, you'll feel like you've already seen the entire film.
possibly, but at
That's
least
why I don't like to watch trailers. So I
Exactly.
can help it.
this one I can watch for you, Jeffrey, and I'll tell you, no, this is going to be good. This is going to be worth the sauce.
I don't know, man. David O. Russell wrote the movie as well. And here's the rest of the cast. John Mulaney plays Trip Hawkins. Catherine Hahn is Virginia Madden. Sienna Miller is Carol Davis. I guess that's the wife of Al Davis. And that's all I know. That's all I know about this. All I know, it's going to be bad. I knew somebody was going to take issue with this. Donnie says, did you say Draft Day was a good football movie?
Yeah. See, Jeffrey, you went off the deep end when you said that that's a good movie. That is such.
It was
a
an
cheat.
NFL movie. I was just naming off NFL movies. No, I'll be honest. I saw it and I didn't care for it either. But I'm just saying, I'm listing off movies that probably Draft Day will end up being better than this Madden movie.
That's no. Christian Bale alone is going to elevate it past Draft Day. Than Kevin Costner's I don't give a damn performance of Draft Day.
All right, well, okay, forget Draft Day. Still, this movie's going to suck. Grand Mariner says somewhere John Madden's rolling over in his grave seeing Nicolas Cage portray him. Although, if you're John Madden, you're like, Nick Cage is a better looking guy. So maybe you're flattered, like, hey, who they get to play me? Nicolas Cage.
I can't remember.
You probably have like a, what? All right.
We were just talking about him yesterday. Who is the guy who does a good John Madden impression?
Frank Caliendo.
Frank Caliendo. I
Not
forget.
tall enough.
No,
You
he's
have
certainly.
to CGI the hell out of Frank Caliendo for
Yeah,
this.
absolutely. You'd have to do the Vin Diesel.
Or overdub. They could overdub him.
Yeah, Vin Diesel milk crate where he's standing taller. My question though is that I can't recall. Wasn't there some friction between John Madden and Frank Caliendo when he was doing the impression? He was like, he was not flattered. He did not enjoy that
I don't
impression.
remember hearing that. It doesn't sound like John Madden.
Okay, so
to
then
not, but you know what? I remember when Frank was on the show 1.5 million years ago. He may have alluded to that himself. Like, golly, I can't remember. You have to look that up.
Yeah, like John Madden had to kind of grow into it and be like, okay, this is fine. Everybody's like having a laugh, but it's not directly at my expense. It's kind of just, whatever he's doing with my voice.
Breaking news from Chosen One, where we don't have to play a thing for him. He says Aaron Gordon unlikely to play tonight.
Oh, wow. Wait, tonight? Is that why? Is that why we don't need it? Because they're not playing tonight. They're playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That got me.
Firefighter says, I actually like Draft Day. I thought it was a good representation of how sucky the Seattle Seahawks were at drafting. That in itself, yes, that's accurate.
And the
But,
Browns. And the Browns.
Sure, the Browns. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, that movie, no thank you. No damn thank you, by the way. I have a bunch of stuff to talk about, but we don't have enough time to get deep in the woods on NCAA stuff. Here's just a little something that it just sort of came out of left field. This U.S. gold medalist by the name of Kyle Snyder. He was a wrestler, and he got arrested in a prostitution sting.
Okay.
That's random as hell.
Yes, it is.
Now, is he in this, or is he running the? I don't know what's happening here. But I guess, no, he's charged with engaging in prostitution after he was arrested. I don't know if he's running it or is he the prostitute?
No, I don't think from my interpretation of that is that he was the one enjoying the services of the prostitute.
Oh, so he got caught with the prostitute.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
So he's not running. He was, okay.
Yeah, he's not neither the prostitute nor the runner of said prostitutes. He is the one enjoying the services offered by the prostitute.
All right. Well, that makes more sense. And it's probably going to have less of a sentence for that. Swazman says, Jeffrey just tuned in last 20 minutes of the week. Anything interesting on the docket? He says, by the way, I'm pet sitting for a cat this weekend. I will walk this cat in a backpack around Holcomb Park in Mesa. My client works for Southwest Airlines and they're going to Cabo.
Oh, very nice.
Man, I'm allergic to cats, so to me that just sounds horrible.
Yeah. The putting the cat in the backpack, I've seen that. That's a very fun trend. I'm glad that they're a part of it. But
Put the cat in the backpack, stick it in the dryer, and just put it on no heat tumble, and then tell the cat it's been to space.
Jesus. But I've never. I felt like the only way that people needed a cat sit, like I thought the cat, that's part of the reason why. That was part of the attraction of getting a cat, was that it's you just need kitty litter and you just need food, and it can like self-regulate its food. It can go to the bathroom and then you come back and then take care of it. But
that's why I had kids later in life. I was like, man, I really don't think I'm responsible enough. I mean, and until Purina came out with the dry crunchy food, I could just put in a bowl and leave on the floor for a week. I just did not need to have babies.
That's called cereal, Jeffrey. That's called Captain Crunch.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that somebody else was taking care of these kids. Firefighter says, was the prostitute in question the moist one?
No, I think in order to become a prostitute, you have to be paid for your services.
Somebody wants to pay you for those services.
Or that too, yeah.
Swazman says, Filthy Phil is right. My client is totally an animal advocate. Just how do you, I guess that's the only way you can walk a cat is you stick them in something and carry them around, because they are not going to participate in a walk.
I have seen, getting back into the pet lifestyle, there are cat leashes, or at least cat vests, and it's very odd.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of here before I make Moist One like jokes about this. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Get our free app and listen to the Daily Blender everywhere you go. Get it today, wherever you get your favorite apps.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-694-1010. That's 1-800-694-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. 1-800-694-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Not another one.
26-year-old male, wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How's the driver in the other vehicle?
Yeah, thankfully she's okay. She had her seatbelt on.
It's really sad. You know, these tragedies are entirely preventable.
It said click it or ticket, but for some, they should be so lucky. Besides getting a ticket or a fine, the consequences could take your life. So don't risk it. Click it or ticket. This message is brought to you by NHTSA.
Forgot something inside or picking up food from the store? Never leave a child in a car. In Arizona, heat stroke can happen in seconds. Temperatures can rise 20 degrees in just 10 minutes, making a vehicle dangerously hot. Heat stroke can happen even in the shade or when it's below 60 degrees outside. Once you park, always remember to stop, look, and lock. Visit heatstroke.az.gov to learn more. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The most important event in sports could happen at any time. Like right now. Or right now. Or even now. Don't miss history. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. End of the first quarter, the Knicks are up 26-20 over the Celtics. Celtics just trying anything and everything they can do to hang in, but I feel like we're going to see the Knicks pull away here in just a little bit.
Yeah, missing a lot
the
of shots.
First period is almost over, 17 seconds away at least, and there's no score between the Maple Leafs and the Panthers right here at this time. 888-368-1580. That is the number to text in and be part of the show. Swazman says, I've actually pet sat for guinea pigs in the past.
Yeah, but they're more dependent on care.
That's just a box you put over in the corner, and occasionally you sprinkle a little food in there, like fish, right?
Yeah, I mean, but they feel like they need more required assistance in living for a week's vacation than a cat does. That's my thought.
He says, have a good weekend. My guess is Rory won't come back.
Rory McIlroy for the PGA.
Oh, did he?
Like he won't be able to make it back to win this game or to win this tournament.
Let's see here. I didn't even see him on the standings when I was looking at it. How far down is he?
I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, it's a safe bet.
I know I could get Control F, but I'm lazy.
And so begins the doom scrolling of Jeffrey O'Brien.
Holy crap. I doom scrolled all the way down. He's south of Sergio Garcia, actually.
Oh, wow.
They're both +1 right now. So Rory McIlroy not having a great outing. Hey, listen, that's the way it is, man. That is the way it is. Scotty Scheffler has climbed back up. He's tied for 5th place right now. But yeah, Jonathan Vegas, and again, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, is well ahead, 8 under par right now. So pretty cool. I'm a little confused by the text line right now.
Okay.
It says I've got 5 texts, but oh, here it is. Oh, sorry for all you people out there who may not have had your text read in the last hour. We had a text line glitch, and I apologize. Bruno Baller, he says, where are they playing the PGA this year? Didn't I already read that?
I think you did.
Quail Hollow. Quail Hollow is where? That's in Charlotte, North Carolina. Kiss the Cook says, I made garlic rosemary lamb chops with apple jelly, Brussels sprouts, butternut squash, and bacon with a maple butter glaze. That was my side. Dude, did you make that just for yourself?
Wow.
Because that's psychotic. If you're just making that good of a dinner just for you and not somebody else sitting there with you, that is insane.
That is a way to, just pamper yourself. My goodness.
My wife will, she's the one who cooks around here because I can cook. I can cook great stuff, but it's not healthy stuff. I cook tasty stuff. She cooks tasty and healthy stuff. So I am not called upon. She sort of throws me a bone every now and then and says, you can make us some quesadillas. Like anybody can make a quesadilla, but I'm like happy to do it. Anyway, so yeah, if I were by myself, oof, you're lucky if I eat a sandwich. Moist One says the Oilers have 2 of the top 3 players, and he says, yeah, now is it Draisaitl? Like Dreidel is a very good player. Draisaitl?
It's an odd one.
2863 says, screw the Canadians. They are unappreciative people who boo our national anthem. If it weren't for us, they'd all be speaking German and Japanese.
Oh my God.
2863. I don't know if you know this, but that is the second language of Canada is German and Japanese.
Combined.
I know this because I just made it up. Number 1 Rattler fan says, wait a second. Is that not Harris? Wow. He's so insightful and entertaining. Be nice. Swazman says, Jeffrey, by the way, if you ever need a pet sitter, reliable and trustworthy like me, get in touch. My dogs don't deserve you.
Do you think that your dogs could fit in a backpack and be walked around?
A very large backpack. No, still no.
Okay.
They'd lose their bleep. Think about how you'd feel if you were put in a backpack. Multiply that by 100. It would not go well. It would not go well. Swazman, do you watch pets at your house? Like, do people drop off pets at your house? Because then we might have something there. Maybe then we'd have something. If you have capacity for 2 dogs, I would entertain the idea. My wife does not want. She won't allow me to have any listeners over.
Can you blame her?
I know. I mean, I'm not allowed. Swazman says, no, I just act like I go to an Airbnb and I stay at all these cool houses. No, I get it. I get it, man. That's a sweet gig for you. And loving animals too. I could do that. I mean, hell, I lose this gig, Swazman. I'm going to call you up and we'll try to start a business. Like, I'll pet sit too. I don't mind that at all. I'm not allowed to have listeners at the house. She's really really steadfast on that one thing.
I can't say I fully blame her. Once one knows, then it's like, hey, a friend of a friend, where's Jeffrey live? And then before you know it, you are covered from head to toe in garments and gifts and sacrifices. It really just gets overwhelming, Jeffrey.
Moist One says, I was in the backyard last weekend. I know, and that's why we've electrified the fence. Swazman says, my last SRP bill was $16 because I wasn't in my apartment much last month.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're in an apartment. Yeah, I guess you can't watch my dogs there. Sorry, man. I'd love to have you pet sit the dogs, but rules is rules around here. So.
Is this where I'm supposed to offer to watch your dogs?
You know Wesley, right?
Yeah.
Producer Wes. Back in 2006.
Oh, yeah.
I was asking, hey, like the crew of the show, because this was a bigger show then. We had a lot more people on the show. I was like, hey, I got to go out of town for the weekend. Can somebody watch my dog? And everybody was like, oh, would love to, but and Wesley goes, oh, I can do it. Oh, great. Thanks, man. And then I jokingly said, so how much are you going to charge me? He says, and he's like, let me get back to you. And we all had a laugh. The next day he came back and said, I talked to my wife. It'll be $50 a day.
Oh.
In 2006.
Yeah, that's pretty substantial.
And I was like, no, man, I got it. We're good. And then, I'd already figured something else out, but I was like, wow, I thought he was my friend. Just charging me $50 a day.
Well, yeah, $50 a day is a lot because I could see like maybe $20 a day, depending on,
It's just one dog. That was one dog at the time.
Well, depending. Did you at that time live in the faraway estate that you do now, to where it would be a drive?
No. At the time I was over in Scottsdale.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, for me, if you asked me, I would be going nearly across the state.
Moist One says, I'll pay $60. No, thank you. We're good. Appreciate that. Swazman says, Jeffrey, I only charge $60 to $75 a day for overnight pet sitting. And that's $28.25 money. So I could see that. If you, that's not bad. If I wanted to get away for the weekend, and having a professional do that. Bruno Baller says, I like the Wheel of Sports. I know times have changed and there's no time for that anymore, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, we haven't done Wheel of Sports in like forever.
Yeah,
probably because the entire show has become the Wheel of Sports. Just random stuff all the time.
Yeah, I mean, again, look at the first hour. We went all the way from Bill Belichick's girlfriend to barbecuing to LeBron James to Lyndon B. Johnson. It was a real grab hat.
You know what, Bruno Baller? I'll think about a way to bring that back. Maybe there's something specific we can do with that.
All right.
Wheel of Sports scandal.
Ooh.
Wheel of Sports something. I don't know. He's like, yeah, it was just fun hearing the wheel spinning. Why don't you spin the wheel for Bruno Baller? Do you know where that is? There it is. There you go, Bruno Baller. Dimeback Dude says, question is, wouldn't a good friend watch a dog without any monetary compensation? No, that's when I realized that Wesley, he just works for me.
That's so true.
Not an actual friend. Good guy.
Also, but like I said, I could the furthest extent I could see is like charging a friend for like, hey, like I said, Jeffrey, you're across the state. Can you chip in some money for gas? That's where I'd be like, okay,
Absolutely.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
that would be.
yeah, but $50 feels like that's a tank and a couple changes.
And listen, if I knew that, you wouldn't even have to ask.
Yeah.
I would just offer.
Right,
I would appreciate that. Bruno Baller says, you made my night. Have a great weekend. You too, Bruno Baller.
Thank you,
and
Bruno.
I'm serious. I'm going to see about a way of bringing that back. A lot of people have actually commented on missing that. Right now, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's Sports History. Back in the year 1912, the National Commission suspended Detroit Tigers outfielder Ty Cobb, barring him from playing the rest of the season due to his attack on Claude Lucker, a handicapped fan, 2 days prior. In support of their not-so-popular teammate, the entire Detroit Tigers roster went on strike to protest, and it actually worked. It actually worked. He only ended up with one game. They reinstated him because the entire team was like, we ain't going to play if you don't let him play. And they didn't know what to do about it.
They pulled a Rudy.
But really, if you hear about the incident, man, the hell with all those guys. Because this was messed up. Now, the incident happened a couple of days prior. And so Ty Cobb is out there. He's getting heckled by a guy. This guy is just letting him have it, being meaner than mean. I mean, Ty Cobb was mean. So to say it was mean, you had to be really mean.
Right.
And so finally, Ty Cobb had enough. Ty Cobb was not a nice person. He was one of the meanest sons of bitches that ever played the game of baseball. This is back in 1912. And so finally, he'd had enough, jumps into the stands, and he just beat the living bejesus out of Claude Lucker. He had no fingers. The guy had no fingers on one hand and only two on the other. And so he couldn't even make a fist to fight back. And he beat the hell out of him, landed like a dozen punches, and then finally knocked him down and started just kicking him, the bleep out of him, and just hit him in the lower body. And then he's got the spikes. In the old days, he had the metal spikes, and he's spiking him with his feet. Just a vicious beating. Somebody finally, one of the fans was, Cobb, the man has no hands. And the guy, so Ty Cobb yells back, I don't care if he's got no feet. And he continued to beat him. This went on, and now the players were actually protecting Ty Cobb until a cop came up and pulled him away. And then Ban Johnson, who was the American League president, he was there. And he's like, yeah, of course they're going to suspend him. I can't believe they overturned that. I can't believe those players stood up for him. The whole thing was just horrific. These days, no way you get away with that.
Oh yeah, no. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's wow. Tyler Cobb was a man, man.
Dick Whiskers says, hey, at least we still have Big Georgia sports history. I can't believe all you guys are old heads that remembered the wheel of sports. If you want it, I'll bring it back, guys. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 3 p.m. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 107th PGA Championship, sponsored by Wrangler. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles to kickstart your day. Wrangler for the ride of life. Who had Jonathan Vegas lead